Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to part 2 of Speaker's Corner. I'm your boy HAFEZ Reflex, and we are here at Speaker's Corner, the open-air insane asylum that we have in London. So, yeah, sorry about the last stream. I had a technical difficulty with my sound. For some reason, that sound wasn't working. Ironically, we should check the sound on this one. Let's do a quick sound check. Testing. 1 2 1 2. Okay. Okay, sounds like sound is coming through nice. Okay, yep, we got sound. We got good sound, everyone. Let me just end it. Okay, things are good. Sound is good. I do have a slight coiling, shall we say. Let's see if we can uncoil this. Okay, guys, we're gonna carry on, go round and see. Unfortunately, the StreamYard panel idea kind of didn't work out. It fell on its face a little bit. But yeah, we're just gonna carry on, and we have people reading things. I picked a bad spot. Okay, let's go and see what we. There are. How's it going, mate? You all right? Sorry, I didn't get a chance to say hi properly. I was. Yeah, it was all right, but unfortunately the mic started crapping out, so I had to change my microphone system and also the way I was streaming. I think it was the way I was streaming was just messed up.
Were you in London yesterday?
No, I didn't make it. Why? Were you there for?
No, I'm just curious.
All right, yeah, Thingy was there. You know Lewis from Another Alternative? Louis? No. He's a young lad. He's been doing some good work around London with Busker. You know Busker, yeah? Yeah. He's been doing it with Busker. But for now, yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really want to come here, but there wasn't anything else happening in London. So I just thought, what the hell? Might as well cover this nightmare again. It is what it is. Exactly. I mean, to be honest, I'm disappointed in myself that I don't have anything better to do on a Sunday than to come here. But it's yeah, it's all right. It is all right. The good thing is actually with the winter days, although it's terrible and it's cold and it's horrific, it ends really quickly. But like 5 o'clock, it gets dark, and I normally don't like to be here at dark when it's dark. So 5, 6 o'clock, I have to leave. Whilst in the summer, some of these people are here like 10, 11 o'clock at night. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh yes! Oh my God! Yeah, because
I'm sure if he's going to, develop the backbone of it's just everything.
Yeah, because I mean, this whole thing kicked off in October, which was kind of tail end of summer, and you know what I mean. It was all coming to an end. So the protests, although in summer it was fairly strong, the winter tends to quell some of that heat, some of that fervor. But yeah, come May, June, oh my God, I think actually it might start from April.
Yeah, it's gonna get wild.
I think that's why they've introduced so many of these laws and stuff for these protests, because they want to head it off before it gets too crazy. I don't know. Wow. That was a loud whistle.
You know Joseph Cohen's is just down there.
Joseph Cohen. Oh, nice one. There's always trouble when he comes. Yeah. Joseph is always a source of excitement. Hey. Oh, I see. Joseph is over here. Okay, guys. Let's go. Thingy is here. Bloodfire or James. All right. Here we are. We have Joseph with us.
Got a nice lighting going on here.
I know. Well, actually, it's going to turn into a silhouette in a minute.
American politicians, who's sitting there trying to justify it. This is the new context. Okay, don't fucking drop anti-Semitism. Why are you doing that? Stop cheerleading for Hamas. Weird. I'm Jewish, mate. A bit weird. Every Jew supports. I've been very open-minded to the Jewish plight.
What's this mean? What's this mean?
You got a tiny dick.
Why is he thinking about my genitalia? This is just weird.
Just sitting there with a tiny dick, talking about blowing up children.
Mate, can you stop talking about my genitals? It's weird.
I don't think you actually want to talk about it.
Stop it, it's weird. Stop thinking about what's wrong with you. I'm married.
Calm down with that. Yeah, just kids are back.
Good luck. Yeah, fair enough.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Well, I think we've just made the case today for why Jews need our country. Could you imagine Jews as a minority in any of these nations? We've got the calm anti-Semitism, respectable anti-Semitism.
That's so wrong to say I'm anti-Semitic. What have I said that is anti-Semitic?
The American Christians are enslaved because of Epstein. That was it's all on camera. He said that and then you defended him.
I didn't defend him.
You went to Epstein. You get that is what you meant. This is hardcore anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism. Mate, to say that Israel is funding Jeffrey Epstein to get American politicians on an island to coerce them, that's not anti-Semitism.
Well done. Anyway, we're done, mate. We're done. You've made your point. You've made your point. I can say what I want. It's freedom of speech.
But that's wrong. Okay,
it's fine.
You're wrong.
I might be wrong, but that's what I think.
You are wrong.
Fine.
Okay.
Fine.
Just for the record, you are wrong.
For the record, he thinks I'm wrong.
You are wrong. For the record.
Cool.
Okay. And I think Israel using.
Cool. Keep going talking about how keep defending the argument that Zionists have enslaved Christians in America because of Epstein. That's what he said, and then you defended it. You literally said.
I defended the argument.
It's on camera.
I defended the
argument. On camera.
What did I say? What did I say specifically on camera? Listen to what I said.
Calm down.
Listen.
Yeah. Stop barking at me. Stop barking at me.
I said Jeffrey Epstein was paid by the
Who are you, Mohammed Ajab? Listen, boy.
I said if Jeffrey Epstein was paid by the Israeli government to coerce American politicians, okay? I didn't hear exactly.
Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence?
But in that same
where's your evidence? It's a fact. Okay, it's fact. Show me the evidence. Israel. Show me the fact. Show me the fact that Israel did that.
I believe that Israel has had a fucking terrible past. The Jews have had a terrible past.
Okay,
but it's all just trauma, and that's why you're taking out all the little Palestinian kids because you've just been traumatized.
And you're not anti-Semitic at all.
I'm not anti-Semitic at all.
But Jews are taking out their trauma on Palestinian babies.
Israelis.
Who are Jews?
IDF.
Who are Jews? Yeah.
Are they Jews?
So what trauma are you talking about then?
Did the Jewish?
So no, he's not anti-Semitic, but he's saying that the Israelis aren't Jews.
Did the Jewish book not say that the Jews have to stay out of that land for their whole lives?
No, it doesn't.
They have to keep moving.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't say that.
No, where does it say that?
You tell me.
It doesn't say that. I can't tell you because it doesn't say that.
It doesn't say that. No. Okay. So that's the first thing.
So show me where.
Oh well, now here we go. Now we've got to get it.
No.
Conversation goes downhill from there. But the fact of the matter is, son, the minute Israel stops killing children,
Alex Jones and Mohammed Ajab just had a child.
Killing children, all this anti-Semitism is going to stop. You know what I'm saying? So the minute Israel stops killing children, that's when you're going to find a lot of these people are going to be very friendly. So just stop killing the kids, baby, and everything's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Disgusting. And the fact that you actually supported large munitions being used
on tunnels, yes.
in the region, on tunnels, on civilians.
No, otherwise the death toll would be a million. Come on. Wait there. Calm down.
What do you mean? You were the one that said you only fight with men. He's a man. Fight.
I don't initiate fights. I don't initiate fights.
Come on, Dave. Get out.
2 minutes ago, he was like, I only fight with men.
Yes. Right, that's right. If you attack me, I'll attack you back. But I won't.
Shut up, man. You ain't going to attack no one, man.
If you attack me, I'll attack you back. I'm not going to attack you. Excuse me, you tried it. He brought it up. He brought it up. I don't want to say the attack. Go away. You go away. You can't tell me what to do.
He was here. You come and just now here.
No, excuse me. I was listening to Joseph. He then invades our personal space and starts talking to me. No.
He was talking. He was here.
I'm going to smack him. He came over here and invaded my personal space. He came over here and invaded my personal space. You came over here and invaded my personal space.
Someone else, you got him out.
You did.
Stand behind your camera.
You won't face us. You won't
Be politically correct. Yes? Without the camera in front of you, without the police officers, you are a bitch. You are a pussy. Bigger than shit.
So, are you going to advise? Are you going to advise him? Also, don't touch me. Do not touch me.
I'll touch you what I want, bro.
That's all it is wrong with Pastor. That is all you're...
Look at the state of
Whatever.
He's a fucking atheist.
Okay, fine, atheist, whatever.
Brother, come down, okay?
Idiot. Labeling him as a Muslim, he's not even a fucking
Wait,
Muslim.
why is he defending him? Why is he defending him?
Alcohol. I literally just told the police that they hit him, and the police isn't even coming over. I told them the police
Why
were doing nothing.
Excuse me, why are you complaining about the police now?
Because literally, this guy's just been hit, and the police did nothing.
Inside it.
No one go
Exactly.
Listen, he's fine.
Attack on me.
Yes, bro, that's not your arm. You take your arms off it.
Literally on camera. It's all live stream. He literally put his hand on his
يا شرموطة يا كلب الحمر.
This is the Ashkenazi bastard. He hit someone there and he went to report the police.
I genuinely think you're anti-Semitic. Genuinely.
I wish I fucking bastard. I'm anti-Semitic. I'm Semitic. I'm Egyptian. You Ashkenazi bastard. You Ashkenazi piece of shit.
How's it the fact that Israel, no one knows what's happened to Jeffrey Epstein? And you're saying this is fun? Okay,
What you
what
Shut up. You're dog. I'm not interested in a fight.
I believe that the Jews have provided so much
Your spirit is ugly. Your spirit is ugly. Your spirit is ugly.
No one fight you. No one fight you. No one fight you.
Excuse me. You threatening me. You threatening me.
No one fight you.
Just eat your kebab and cook the kebab and that's it.
What are you coming here for?
I noticed you're advising me, but you never advised me.
Because you stand by.
Now it's
Say that again, please. Is that Iranian?
You're fighting for me.
Have you taken many cases?
Iranian N-word.
You want some medicine?
Sorry, the microphone picked it up the first time.
You want garlic sauce or garlic chili? Chili sauce.
Yogurt sauce.
He wants chili sauce.
Yogurt sauce is healthy.
You need to take his food to live. Oh, you're not funny. You're not funny. You're not funny.
Exactly. Kalamin koskola sina
Allegation.
No one has.
No one did anything. Because it's true. It happens to be true. Isn't it true?
What are your thoughts on Hamas?
I like hummus, man. I eat hummus.
What is your thoughts?
I get bread and eat hummus.
Do you support it?
You don't eat hummus? You don't eat hummus?
What do you think about Hamas? What do you think about Hezbollah?
Never heard of them. Never heard of them.
When you're drinking vodka, whiskey.
I'm allowed in my religion, that's fine, but this is actually just water.
Jesus, he said no drink whiskey.
But I don't follow Jesus, that's the wrong faith.
Jesus said no drink.
This has nothing to do with Jewish, Christian, Islam. It's the fact that Israel is a colonial.
Listen to him.
Watch the video on my channel of this man getting disowned by the Jewish community. That's all I would say.
And many
Because there's original Jewish.
Is he Jewish in your eyes? If he's got a Jewish mother, he's Jewish.
Are against the state of Israel.
But he's not religious.
You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family.
Exactly.
Millions of Jewish people are against the state.
David,
That's what you don't understand.
why is the Jewish community disowned you?
He can't justify the murder of Palestinian people. He
Yeah.
can't justify it. There is no justification.
David, you went viral in the Jewish press, you know that?
Good.
For defending Hamas.
I wasn't defending Hamas, and you know that.
I'm saying you wouldn't trust an Israeli woman who'd been raped.
You are a liar.
It's on camera, it's all on camera. It's all on camera, David.
You're a liar.
Because you're a liar, yes.
I have never mentioned Hamas because Hamas is not the point. The Jewish Israeli state supported Hamas.
Yes.
They paid for Hamas and they supported Hamas.
Yeah, it wasn't Ikhwan Muslimin.
When the PLO,
That's what he's saying.
when the PLO,
David, who's Ikhwan Muslimin?
Who's Sheikh Yassin?
in order to split the Palestinian people. That's
Zombie apocalypse,
If you don't mind, I'll ask you a question.
please.
Do you have any beer?
And he knows that.
One
He just
side,
uses it as an excuse.
Hey, brother, listen to this guy.
The state is using Hamas.
So you have no idea what my position is. You all assume I literally listen. I put on a rally. I organised two speakers at a rally. Well, I organised one of the speakers, a Palestinian, who spoke at my rally, a Jewish rally, a Zionist rally, and another, a Saudi Muslim. Both spoke for peace with Israelis, and both spoke for humanitarian. So that's what I'm saying. I have compassion. I'm answering. Not only do I have compassion, when I help organise Jewish rallies, I bring Palestinians to speak in it, to promote peace in that region.
I'm just asking you. Have you got
Habibi.
about those people?
Let me,
And women.
Habibi. Let me read something to you. I'm going to read something. I'm going to read my speech, which I gave at a rally just the other day, and you tell me about compassion. Yeah, this is at a Zionist rally.
That's what they said. The Hamas figures.
Yeah.
Are you saying that all 30,000?
Not really my problem, is it, mate? I've got my own country. I don't have to live under you anymore. Alhamdulillah.
Well, if I was on your side, I'd say that is wrong because I haven't got nothing to fight you with.
This is my speech. Listen. I'm going to October. This is speaking to a couple of thousand Jews who were there to commemorate hostages, yeah? This is what I read. October the 7th saw the biggest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. Yet from the depths of our sorrow, we rise united and stand here today, not only as mourners, but also as agents of change. Every single one of us here is making a positive change, and I'll tell you why. October the 7th was a direct response to Jews and Arabs uniting and normalizing relations. Uniting the Arabs of the UAE, of Bahrain, Morocco, Sudan, joined Jordan and Egypt declaring enough. We can and we will coexist with Jews. And this terrified the terrorists, because a world where Jews and Arabs coexist is a world where Hamas have no purpose. Coexistence is a death blow to their genocidal cult. So today, unity is how we are choosing to respond to their divisive barbarism. As for those who claim that Jews and Muslims cannot coexist, They are wrong. Islam is not our enemy. Hamas does not just harm Jews, they harm Palestinians. Hamas did not just violate Israel, they violated Islam. Let me show you what I mean with a little known Islamic law. In Islam, at a time of war, you cannot kill women. You cannot kill children. You cannot even cut down a tree. But these cowardly rats butchered women, butchered children, and disgraced Islam. They will not win. Hamas's tyrannical reign over Gaza will fall and peace will prevail. Just as the Islamist terrorists around the world will fail. Every single one of us here is defying them. We're defying the extremists who seek to divide us. We're defying them by standing here together as Jews, Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Sikhs, atheists, all of us united by our unwavering commitment to coexistence. So let us reaffirm our defiance and our commitment today by joining me in saying yes to peace and no to terror. That was my speech to Zionists. So don't tell me I don't have compassion. I'm literally telling Jews, a Zionist crowd, a Jewish crowd,
I'm asking you as a single person how you feel.
And I've just given you...
Killing little kids, women, and men haven't got nothing. Nothing in their hand. I've got nothing. Absolutely nothing.
What does Israel have to do to stop the injustice?
So
do they do injustice in Israel?
That's what I'm asking you.
So Khalas, I can only answer one at a time. I'll answer him, then I'll answer you. I'll try to answer both of you together.
No, you can answer him if you want.
So
injustice. Does Israel commit injustice?
So I'm gonna respond.
Okay.
So on October the 7th, because that's where I'm going to start it from,
You're going to start there?
Yeah.
Come on. Injustice happened a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. You tried to massacre us on 48 and you failed. You tried to massacre us on the 7th of October, you failed. Every time you try to massacre us, you fail. And then you cry when we respond. When we respond to your genocidal intentions.
Is that right to respond?
Pardon?
Killing 50,000.
So here, listen to this, because this is what the question was asked before. So the United Nations, whose numbers I don't accept, said 50 to 70% of the buildings in Gaza have either been damaged or destroyed. And we've all seen the level of munitions, of arms, bombs that Israel has dropped on Gaza, and we've seen the buildings with our own eyes. Yeah. Yet the ratio of terrorists to civilians is 2 to 1. Now listen to this. If 50%, it's simple mathematics, question to the audience. If there are 2 million people living in Gaza, and Israel was bombing indiscriminately, and over half of the buildings have been damaged or destroyed, what ballpark of civilians would you expect to see dead?
100 to
half.
100 to 1 ratio.
You'd expect to see up to 1 million Palestinians dead. But thank God we haven't seen that. Why? Because Israel wants... Thank God. How many of those were Hamas terrorists? How many of those were terrorists?
You tell us.
I can't. I know.
It's not from lack of trying.
So the IDF have said a few weeks ago, coming towards 12,000 was the last number I had. Coming towards 12,000 of those were terrorists.
Okay, for argument, let's say
that's 2 to 1. Compared to any urban warfare, that's a low ratio. That's a low ratio.
Okay. For argument, let us accept that 20,000. Is it justifiable to you?
So that's what I just responded.
It's right.
So I'm responding to you, Habibi. You have to listen. So in urban warfare, that ratio is lower than any other ratio we've experienced. 2 to 1 is a low ratio. When you're dealing with one of the most densely populated areas, which Hamas are waging a war from, there should be 1 million dead Palestinians, but there isn't. Because Israel makes millions of phone calls warning Palestinians to leave. They create maps, they create safe zones. Because you can literally see them.
How do you know?
How you can watch the videos of Palestinians on the phone. Where? Okay, so Google.
You can avoid.
So millions of pre-recorded and 50,000 live. 50,000. Yes, I believe it.
They've proven to.
I believe it. Yes. Yes.
Because you're just like the Germans in Germany believed what the Nazis said. Exactly the same.
And you can avoid
David.
By ceasefire.
You're a disgrace to your people, David. You've been disowned by your community, David. You're not welcome in any synagogue in the UK, David.
After you accept
you can avoid all that by ceasefire, right?
Pardon?
You can avoid all this massacre by ceasefire.
He wants to know how to avoid it. So simple. Release the hostages.
Your ego.
Release the hostages. Release the hostages.
You can. Hamas is offering you the hostages.
No, they haven't.
Stop the war. Give us our hostages.
They're not. They're asking for terrorists to be released from prison.
Because
they're asking for literal terrorists.
They want their ego to
They kidnapped a baby, and this guy's defending them. This monster is defending kidnapping babies.
What I know, you can avoid all this massacre by ceasefire.
Hold on. How many
Every dead baby is a tragedy, but every dead baby is on Hamas.
How many Hamas got hostages?
Pardon?
How many they got? 112?
136 at the moment.
How many you got in your jail?
They don't. Okay, do you think they're the same
How
thing?
many Palestinians you got in your jail?
That's
a simple question.
Here, free Palestine.
Take your fake Balenciagas away.
Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Put that back on.
Yeah, free Palestine. Free Palestine.
What's the shoe have to do with this?
I fuck you, Israel. Fuck you. Fuck you, Israel.
With this fake Balenciagas.
Good tourist, Israel. Fuck you.
With your fake Balenciagas.
Sechtak achter Israel.
You don't have to be nasty like everybody else.
I'm not entirely
Just
sure
having
the shoe thing
discussion.
about.
So
I missed something.
I don't know. Maybe had a pebble in his shoe.
You said Hamas got 112.
I don't know what the shoe issue is.
136.
Okay, guys, we have missing context here. We don't know what the shoe thing is.
Every time a
Women
terrorist,
is terrorists.
a woman can be a terrorist, yes.
Kids are terrorists.
Even, unfortunately, Hamas recruit children. Unfortunately, yes.
Who killed more children, Hamas or the IDF?
Please.
IDF.
I know when you.
Every death
I know when
is
you.
on Hamas.
Listen, I know when
Can
you
I hold
have
on,
long
we
time
be
in this
terrorists?
Pardon?
I know when you have long time in
I know.
At least admit to something.
Admit
what I
to
mean?
what?
You got 136 hostages, which as Muslims we condemn.
So-
Anybody take anybody hostage?
Good.
We can, listen, but you got about over 20,000 in your jail.
But I'm asking you the question. I'm asking
Since
you the question.
19...
Why are they in
I
jail?
don't know.
Why are they in jail?
No reason.
Terrorism.
Yeah, because you just
Throwing
fabricate and say
stone.
terrorists.
Throwing stone is terrorism.
Grab them in the street
So
and you put them in
Israel,
jail.
so you're saying Israelis aren't actually attacked by Palestinians, by the brave resistance. They don't attack. They don't attack Israelis.
Listen, you've been fighting since when?
Right, unfortunately, you've been fighting us since
for years.
You never. Unfortunately, the Muslims never stopped fighting us.
Gaza like this, and you can't conquer it.
So we
So
say
why
that again?
don't you stop?
We don't want to conquer Gaza. We gave it back. We gave Gaza in 2005. We left. It could have been the Singapore in the Middle East.
Oh, yeah, begrudgingly, but you were going to take it back.
But you want to know the tragedy? There were Jews there before Egypt conquered
The only
it.
reason you are losing the war is because the tunnels.
We're not losing the war. How are we losing the war? You're begging for a ceasefire. How are we losing the war?
You're killing.
How are we losing the war?
Yeah.
How are we losing
Can
the war?
I ask?
Morally.
Pardon?
Did you what?
We've taken.
You didn't.
They've only got Rafah. They've only got Rafah left.
You only succeed by killing people.
And the world knows it
But-
now.
You killed only people.
But that's how like every war has ever been won ever.
One question.
How can you have a war without killing people?
You've only got Rafah left.
Yeah.
State.
Hamas. No, yeah, Hamas have only. They've got
So
one strong.
Hamas is not in the north.
I mean, there's a small presence of them, yes, but by and
So why
large,
don't
Israel.
you give humanitarian aid to the north?
So, as I was saying, the reason they do
that
let
was-
humanitarian,
thank you, that was
they
my
let humanitarian
question.
aid in, and watch what happens when it comes in. Hamas take it. Hamas start shooting.
What
Hamas.
evidence do you have that Hamas takes humanitarian aid?
No, literally, there's pictures of them on the A trucks with guns.
Because the United States sent envoy and said sitting on top of trucks with AK-47 that Hamas deals aid. So what
Don't believe your lying eyes, people. The videos don't mean anything.
It's very, very easy.
Those videos have been doctored. It's Hollywood made of Hamas taking trucks. The thing is, the conspiracy is so insane. Anything goes.
I'm just showing you.
The Israelis bombed the truck.
Before October 7th, I did. Now I don't know where.
How about all the other trucks? But look, I'll agree. Israel is not perfect, and they probably have made a lot of mistakes in this. But their mistakes started because Hamas did what they did.
I'll just show you in a minute.
But I mean, the fact is, this entire thing could end tomorrow if they release the hostages and surrender. Why don't they do that? If 50,000 people's lives not worth them surrendering?
Who that guy is?
Do they not love their children? Do they not love their mothers and fathers? Just release the hostages, surrender. It'll be over.
If they didn't release, you must kill all people in Gaza.
No, but that's the thing. Out of 2.5 million, only 50,000. Not even. You know that most wars, America killed nearly 1 million Iraqis when they went to Iraq. That was like, 2000 and what? 2001, 2003. Sorry. And nobody complains about America killing 1 million Iraqis. But these guys have barely killed 50,000 out of 2.5 million that they could have easily killed. I mean, you got to realize it's kind of difficult to avoid killing people in a place that has 2.5 million people, and you only managed to kill 50,000.
It shows care and attention.
But what I mean is, which one is harder, to kill 1 million or to kill 50,000 in a place which is tiny, full of? No, but there shouldn't be negotiations. Hamas should surrender and release the hostages. Negotiation over.
I said they are.
Each both of this side have hostages, Israel and Hamas. It's
No, but the thing is, why should no, but it's not even that. It's not even that. If I am the strong, if I'm the powerful, and I can kill you and defeat you, why should I even negotiate with you? You're complaining, you're saying the strong, the one who has the most guns, the most weapons, to surrender or negotiate with someone they can destroy. Why should they even negotiate?
Can they destroy?
Yes.
No, it's been 5 months.
Yeah, but that's because they're trying not to destroy them. No. Yeah, exactly. But they managed to save millions of lives instead of killing. They could have easily killed 1 million people by now. You can agree, right? Israel, with the bombs and the weapons they have, they could easily kill 1 million people.
They did. No, they did.
In Gaza?
30,000 killed. There's tens of thousands missing now. 70,000 jailed.
Okay, even 100,000 out of 2.5 million.
That's the people, 15%.
Out of 2.5 million, 100,000 isn't even 10%.
It's nothing 100,000.
No, but that's what I mean. It's not even close. But I'm telling you, if Hamas just says, here's the hostages, we surrender, it'll be over. Why don't they do that? What is? I mean, they could save another 50,000 lives if they did.
Now you ask me as I am one of Hamas supporter.
I know, but what I mean is, I understand. But you can't ask the person who has all the leverage to give up their leverage because of, I don't know, the kindness of their heart over a terrorist group who could potentially end it all by simply saying, okay, we're done. It would end tomorrow. Now, actually, this is the thing. If Israel actually wants to genocide Gaza, if Hamas surrenders and then they still carry on killing, then you have a case. Then you can say, see, they surrendered and they're still killing them. But that hasn't happened. So we need that before the other half can happen. You can't say to the person who's holding the gun and you have a knife, don't shoot me because of the kindness of your heart, because I only have a knife. No, I'm going to shoot you. It doesn't matter if you have a knife or not. Just because the weaponry is unequal, that doesn't mean this is some sort of, like, you have to beg the other guy to surrender. No, you have to beg Hamas to surrender. They're the ones that hold the card. The ball is in their court, I'll be honest. I think they're the ones that can end this. Tomorrow they can end this. If Israel wants truly peace. If Israel doesn't want peace and Hamas surrenders and they carry on killing them, then you know what's going on. Then you know, everyone knows. Exactly. You would actually call Israel's bluff.
Israel then.
Yeah, you would, exactly. They would have no support from anyone. Well, that's the thing. But that's the thing. If it doesn't end, and they release the hostages, and it doesn't end, then the whole world would know. I would be 100% on your side. Everybody would.
The whole world knows. It's been 5 months.
Yeah, but Hamas still has hostages. Hamas still has fighters that are still fighting. They're still shooting. They're still chucking rockets. So all of that has to stop.
Just a question. Listen, when was the last rocket hit to Tel Aviv?
I don't know, but I mean, I saw only a few weeks ago that we're still launching. Hezbollah is now attacking Hamas, Israel. Yeah, from the north you got Hezbollah, from the south you've got Hamas. They're still fighting.
Go fight Hezbollah, don't fight the civilian.
Yeah, but
Israel
still
now is fighting civilian, not fighting fighters not own.
I don't know. I don't know the ratio now.
The last news today, they attacked Kuwaiti truck carrying humanitarian aids today.
Look, I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't want anyone to die. I wish none of this happened. I wish I could have a time machine, go back to October 8 and stop them from doing any of that. Unfortunately, we don't. This is where we are. And if I was the more powerful country, if a man came to your house and killed your wife and killed your child, what would you do to them?
Raped your daughters.
What would you do to them? Just tell me, as a man, what would you do to them?
Very hard, yeah.
You would tear their eyes out with your fingers.
But it didn't start.
I would rip their throat out.
It didn't start on 7 October, you know.
I know, but what I mean is that if 7 of October hadn't happened, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? We wouldn't have this situation. 50,000 people would be alive. So that one day equated to 50,000 people dying. Not to mention the Israelis, by the way, that's another 1,000, so it's actually 51,000. Well, even if you don't count the Israelis, 50,000 Palestinians died. For what? For what? So that they can kill 1,000 Israelis, so they can rape a few Israeli women. Was that enough? Was that worth the cost? Was that it?
Okay, why do you ask
But what
me?
I mean is, if you think about this, I'm looking at it as if I'm talking.
I did with
No. I know. I'm sorry. What I'm saying is, in my mind, I'm looking at like imagining a Hamas fighter, and I want to ask them: was that one day worth this? Was the price worth it?
For me,
I don't think it was worth
I
it.
don't think so at all.
Exactly.
But this is not a problem now. We need to stop this genocide. And
Yeah, but
you don't want to call even it a genocide.
the thing is, even if you call it a genocide, okay, even if I agree with you, even I don't actually agree with you, but even if I did, who is the number one? Who's in the most prominent position to end this? Israel or Hamas? No, but that's the thing. Because if Israel stops, Hamas will do October 7 again. Because they've said it. They said they want to do October 7 100 times. The guy was on TV.
But did you listen to Prime Minister of Israel said will not end even you release
Well,
hostages?
that's the
He needs
thing.
to go to Rafah now.
But that's the thing. We have to try that first. Why is it that Israel has to stop the ceasefire?
Do you guarantee-
Hamas doesn't have to release the hostages.
Do you guarantee he will stop?
But the thing is, it's not going to stop as long as the hostages are there anyway. If they release it and it doesn't stop, they're in the exact same position as they are now. They haven't actually changed their position. Israel is going to kill them as long as they have the hostages, and Israel is going to kill them maybe after they release the hostages. But at least at that point, the world can see that Israel doesn't want peace, they just want to kill them. At least your argument will be valid then. Right now, your argument is kind of wishy-washy, because you don't know whether Israel will stop after they release the hostages. You're like, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But after they release the hostages, you can be 100%. I will come with you to the United Nations and say, stop these bastards. But they won't. But that's what I mean. Hamas the ball is in Hamas's court. They have to make that decision. Israel is just going to do whatever it needs. And I don't blame them. I would do the same. If someone came and killed my wife, my children, raped my daughters, what would you do? What would Islam, what would Salah ad-Din would do? What would Omar bin Khattab would do to them? Go and look at the Islamic books and see what the justice of Islam is for someone who does that to your wife and child. Islam, Sharia would have these men killed, let alone you and I. Who are we? Allah wants these men to be killed. Because the justice is not justice if you rape a woman and child. The punishment under an Amir is capital punishment. We know this, right? I'm not lying.
Okay, keep the killing on the side. There was no evidence at all, no evidence at all. Just media lying all the time, fabricated the news about this.
Dude, I have videos. There's literally videos of the fighters shooting women. I've seen the videos.
We saw this, yeah. This is
I saw it. They've got their own GoPro cameras. There was a guy who called his mum and dad and told them I just killed an Israeli woman. Is that a lie? Is that media? Is that Hollywood? I don't know, man. That looked pretty bad.
But I know, just when you talk to me, you keep saying, you're asking me to like...
No, but what I'm saying is when you're saying that you have doubts about what happened...
All what we need now, the world is to stop.
I know. Look, I wish it all stopped. But I wish it all stops. It all stops tomorrow. But I know who can stop it tomorrow. Hamas can stop it tomorrow. That's what I mean. We're on the same side. I'll be honest. I don't want Israelis to die. I don't want Palestinians to die. One of my best friends is Palestinian right now. He's with his mom in Kuwait. You know, it's horrible. It's horrible. How many videos I've seen of Palestinians pulling out their daughters from rubble, 3-year-old, 2-year-old, a baby. That's nobody wants that in the world. Nobody has to see that. But
do you know I have one friend from Israel too?
There you go. So we are all human beings. Nobody wants anyone to die. We just want this to end. But I know who can end it, and I don't think it's the Israelis. I think it's Hamas. Hamas can end this, and unfortunately, as long as they don't, 5 months ago they could have ended it 5 months ago. How many people would have saved? They would have saved if they released the hostages 5 months ago.
Tens of thousands.
Exactly.
But now we need to agree who can end it. Not.
But
if everyone said another side is able to end it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I say that's the problem. I don't know, man. Yeah. Habibi. Don't worry. We can always agree. Eventually, human beings agree.
Hamas originally said about them, this is the United Nations should take care of it.
For an example, who's responsible for education? Who's responsible for the distribution of aid in Gaza? No, United Nations Relief Work Agency.
He's responsible for.
This is what Israel saying. That's what Israel's doing.
No. Let me clarify this.
Some of them are using these fallacies.
What's your opinion on the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds?
Because people get into debates.
Why don't you allow humanitarian? Not you.
Yeah, people are using lots of fallacies all over the place.
So why don't you allow humanitarian aid to the area?
How about you?
The North.
So I'm very serious. I believe it. Now you have it. That's what I believe. You're saying we have it.
That's great. Let's not
I don't want you to say
Sorry guys, I got deep involved in a debate. I hope everyone in the chat is good. Everyone's hanging in there. NSK. Wow, we got some new people in the chat. Welcome. Anyone new in the chat? DG, welcome. Triller, yeah, everyone in the chat, thank you for coming. New subscribers, please remember to like and subscribe for more insane shit. I will say I'm not as cold as I was last week. I'm much warmer. My testicles are only halfway up my ribs.
No, the IDF killed a lot of innocents. Not a lot of innocent people died.
No, there was a stampede.
A stampede? Oh, so the Palestinians have a tank and they run over a Palestinian hostage. Is that true?
I don't believe that happened.
This is going to be ugly. I'm warning you.
This is at the
Big up, Curb. Thank you so much. No, don't worry about the StreamYard link, Curb. Leave that because I'm not running the StreamYard anymore. This is just regular.
Free Palestine.
Yeah, from Hamas.
Stop eating
Khanzir.
No.
Look at the track marks. Who has this? Who has
No,
that?
but I'm saying, how do we even know that's Palestine? I agree, that's horrible. But I don't know. I don't know that.
Euromed themselves said this happened in Palestine.
Euromed is a.
This happened in Palestine.
So,
who did this?
2 days ago.
Again, none of us.
The zip ties, classic sign of Israeli economic Palestinians. These are the track marks of.
Brother, I'm saying, I have no idea where. You showed me a horrendous image.
Fine.
I have no idea of the context. I don't know anything.
You can go back and look it up. You can go back and look it up.
That's all we can do.
Good. Same thing. If I say that Israel's not allowing humanitarian aid, you would give me some sources, and I would go back and look.
Okay, guys. I'm trying to get a better angle.
There's an Israeli organisation that's responsible for Koga. You can go on their Twitter, you know Koga. So they literally put out videos, they put out documentation of the aid they're letting you in. So that I know.
Now we passed this point.
Yeah.
We're done with this point. Let's move on to another point.
Is it okay if I say my camera's very briefly? Because everyone else has got cameras and I make content. I think I've got some.
Yeah,
do it.
he was anti-Roman Zero. He was anti-Roman Zero. His father Joseph was killed by a Roman officer.
Okay, Joseph is moving. Joseph, do you need a hand, mate?
Yeah, good for you.
Is this all signed there?
No, that's this.
No, point down.
You're like a prime minister.
The only reason I if people think I'm funded by the Israeli government, I'm funded by the Israelis.
Unfortunately, the Mossad doesn't pay us like it used to.
But you did serve in the military, right?
The camera.
I went to a religious school in Israel first.
You have Israeli passport, right?
So I'm moving there in 3 weeks' time.
Oh, so you are from the UK?
I'm from the UK, yeah.
You're from the UK?
Yeah. But moving like most Jews, moving to Israel. And the UK isn't safe for us anymore.
Yeah, it's quiet now.
Okay, guys. Things have settled down a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very safe at night here. Okay, Joseph is setting up, guys. So we're just waiting for him to. Hello. Yeah, he's just setting up his stuff, getting ready to rock and roll. Okay. What is your Cash App, HAFEZ? I'm sorry, guys. You can't really send me a Cash App because I'm in the UK. UK doesn't work with the US. It's a big mess. Don't worry about it. It's all right. I do this for the love, because clearly I love this place. It's a lie. I hate this place. It's fucking awful. It's cold. It's boring. Why am I here? This is one of the moments in your life where you reevaluate what you did.
I don't really see God there.
Well, I support both because I don't want both to die. But unfortunately, right now as it is, it's bad. No, I mean, I want Hamas to surrender so that Palestinians stop dying. That's my stance.
So you are against Hamas?
I'm against both, yeah, absolutely. I'm against anyone who wants to kill anyone. There you go. Just straight up don't kill anyone. That's my general policy.
But when you compare IDF and Hamas, you see that IDF killed 50,000. Hamas killed...
No, the thing is, you see, it's not a numbers per number thing. If you kill my wife, I'm not just going to slap you across the face. I'm going to rip your head off. So it's not a one-on-one situation.
Hamas didn't attack like this.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You kill one of my citizens, I'll kill 1,000 of yours. That's the deal.
Yeah, okay. Who came to Palestine and killed Palestinians?
Well, you can go ahead and argue the 1948 and all of that, but the fact is that right now the situation is.
They cannot escape from Gaza.
Yeah, but that's because they keep wanting to kill the Jews. It's because they keep wanting to kill the Jews. Well, they're not slaves, but
they don't have any airport.
Okay, so there we go.
Okay.
They don't have any sea ports.
Yeah. You're good. You're good to go. You're good to go. Oh, that's the end.
Okay, so we moved on from the point of humanitarian aid. We reached an impasse. You said Israel is allowing in humanitarian aid. I said Israel is not allowing in. Let's move on. This gentleman, someone asked you, not this gentleman, someone asked you, why are they using bombs?
Yeah.
Huge bombs.
Yeah.
And explain that. Why are they doing that?
So, Hamas, since 2007, have been fortifying Gaza City. They built a 500 kilometers of tunnels under the city, under hospitals, under schools. and they've got a tunnel network more extensive than the London Underground. So to take out tunnel infrastructure, you need big bombs, unfortunately. So they have like bunker buster bombs, so they're dropping very large bombs on areas. But what they're doing is they are warning civilians to leave these areas first, which is why the terrorist to civilian ratio, the militant to civilian ratio, is 2 to 1. If we go by Hamas and Israel's number. So Hamas are saying north of 30,000 Palestinians have been killed. They don't say who is a fighter, who isn't. And then Israel saying a few weeks ago up to 12,000, well no, they were saying almost 12,000 a few weeks ago, Hamas fighters, terrorists had been killed. So that gives you a ratio of 2 to 1. For an urban warfare, that's actually considered a good ratio. When you look at places like Aleppo and places like that where there's been huge ratios, like 8 to 1, 8 civilians to every 1 militant that's killed. So what Israel's doing, and these are the measures I believe Israel has taken, and I can show you evidence to support this, which we've been doing, we've been showing each other proof.
You mean the leaflets and the...
So they've dropped millions of leaflets from the front.
Millions of phone calls.
They've pre-recorded millions of phone calls and made 50,000 live phone calls, according to the IDF, and you can see Palestinians on the phone, and Palestinians are speaking about getting these warnings. They then created humanitarian corridors. Israel says that when the Palestinians were fleeing, Hamas was shooting them to stop them, and the Hamas are saying that Israelis are shooting Palestinians leaving the corridor. So both sides are saying that innocent Palestinians that are trying to flee the conflict are being killed, but they're both blaming the other side. But either way, humanitarian corridors were created that enabled 1 million people to leave the north, and almost 1 million people to leave the north and go into the south, into Rafah, where the majority of the Palestinians are today. Safe zones were created in accordance with the Geneva Convention, so Palestinians could take refuge there. Now there has been fighting from those because Hamas are fighting, and you can see the videos of gunshots going one way and gunshots coming back towards the safe zones. So we're in this situation where there is a fortified, densely populated civilian metropolis, and so Israel's done what I believe everything it could to enable the Palestinian civilians that aren't part of the conflict to escape, to flee. Providing, I mean, in a conflict, there's nothing more crazy, like strategically, of giving your enemy weeks in advance to prepare, which is exactly what happened in the north. When they carried out October the 7th, the ground incursion didn't start until a few weeks later. Could you just make sure that I'm still in shot?
Away from the sun. Come here and you put the camera there.
Pardon?
You can come here and you put the
Okay, all right. Let's just finish up this last point, and then we'll so we can finish at least the point. But yeah, we'll do that, Sammy.
The IDF was doing everything.
And so the IDF is doing going to huge. It gave up its strategic advantage, gave Hamas weeks to prepare the north for their coming in ground incursion. And you wouldn't do that if you just wanted to kill Palestinian civilians. My final point will be, which is what I was trying to make before, is according to the United Nations, over 50% of the buildings have been damaged or destroyed in Gaza. Now, if that is true, you would expect if Israel was bombing indiscriminately, there'd be 1 million dead Palestinians, but there's a fraction of that, and I believe that is because Israel is actually trying to minimize civilian casualties. That would be my point.
Do we need to relate?
We can switch now if you want, just so I could...
That's the thing when you read the Talmud.
Sorry. The Israelis and Palestinians.
Let's face the sun here. It's good for our
Vitamin D.
Sorry.
Okay. Don't already forget that. That camera's on. Sorry about all the delays. The Israeli government doesn't pay enough, which they'll all through.
Oh no, it's me, but the master.
Let me just make sure I'm recording. Okay. Oh no, I'm not even recording. Okay, there we go.
Yep, yeah, you're good.
You said Hamas built tunnels, that's why they need to use large munitions. Okay, so what damage can these bombs do to a tunnel?
If it's like very if it's both, have you ever seen the big where it looks like there's a huge, it's usually a very bad taste TikTok video of some Israeli soldiers with a detonator saying something, and then you see a huge explosion behind them. So what's happened there is that's when they're taking out, in almost, not every instance, but most of those instances, they're taking out the tunnel infrastructure, and that's why you see it go down in the way that it does. And you can see the before and after videos of that happening.
So the purpose is not to destroy the tunnels. The purpose is to steal off the tunnels.
No. So Israel is at as long as those tunnels are there, Israel is at a disadvantage.
My reasoning is this: if they're hiding inside the tunnels, why would they leave the tunnels? That's one. Hamas. Why would they leave the tunnels? Two, why are you bombing above the ground if they're hiding underneath?
So I don't think it's that simple. I'm sure you've seen the videos of Hamas fighters coming out of tunnels, placing explosives on tanks or whatever, or firing RPGs. So what Hamas used tunnels for is one, to hide in some instances, so hostages are both underground and overground. So when we rescued the hostages from Rafah, that wasn't from a tunnel, that was from a house. But other tunnels...
You mean the two hostages? From
Rafah at the beginning of, just before.
They were rescued like 10 days before that.
No.
Haaretz reported they were rescued on February 2nd.
So it's not true, they were rescued from Rafah. I know people... So I don't know what Haaretz are saying, but I can assure you they were rescued 10 days
So the
before.
claim that they were rescued on February 2nd is not true.
So
because it happened, I think, on the 12th, February 12th.
Dates I don't know truthfully off the top of my head.
Okay,
but when they went in, it was, I'm just trying to work out. It definitely wasn't the 2nd. That's way too early.
I know. Haaretz is saying they were rescued on the 2nd.
No, and I'm saying that's not true.
Okay, fine, fine. Okay, so now the same question is: you said they're dropping bombs to destroy the tunnels. I said, what damage are they doing? What evidence do you have that the tunnels are being damaged, are in fact being damaged by these 2,000 ton bombs, 2,000 pound bombs?
The aftermath, the carnage, is the huge craters in the ground.
I know. No, that's usual. All the images that I've seen are about these on houses, on apartment complexes. But what evidence do you have that the tunnels are destroyed?
So
that's my question.
So there's literally videos of pictures of destroyed tunnels. There's videos and pictures of destroyed tunnels. And once I finish recording, I'll pull some up.
Yeah, please. But what's the source? Is it also the IDF?
Anything that's coming out of Gaza.
But the IDF is not trustworthy.
Then
they have a history of lying and manipulation.
So we're in an impasse because Israel are the ones that are collecting the evidence. So we're at an
Why
impasse.
are they not allowing anyone else to investigate the evidence? Why are they gatekeeping?
So why are they not allowing journalists into
As an example, the CNN, for example, they said this cemetery has a tunnel.
Shireen Abu Akleh. Remember what happened to Shireen Abu Akleh in Jenin? Yeah. And that was a huge... Every time a journalist is killed in Gaza, it's a huge...
No, wait. I'm not talking about that.
Oh, sorry,
There's a specific... For example, I'll give you one specific incident. The CNN were accompanying the IDF. Okay? They were safe. How do I know they were safe? Because the IDF were moving around without any weapons. They were safe.
And that's what happened in Iraq as well.
The IDF claimed that this cemetery had a tunnel shaft.
Yes.
The CNN reporter said, "Can I see it?" The IDF said, "No, you cannot see it."
Yes, I've seen the video.
Why did they not allow? This is clear evidence that there are tunnels there in the cemeteries.
I genuinely cannot tell you the reason in that particular instance. Whether it was an active combat zone, whether there was a military edge.
It was not an active combat zone because they were safe. It was approved for release.
Yeah.
They did not comment.
I'm saying I don't know the reason for that. I can't give you the answer to every IDF. What I can say and what we can both agree is there are definitely tunnels there. There are tunnels under hospitals. There are tunnels under schools. We've seen the tunnels. You've seen the tunnels. And Israel has a problem. You've not seen the tunnels?
No. Under hospitals?
Yes.
I've seen claims, but not the tunnels.
You've not seen the tunnels under literally almost every hospital. There's a tunnel underneath.
How do you know it's the tunnel under that hospital?
Because they release a drone going from the sky.
I've seen literally every single video that I've seen of that is a fabrication. So because the drone somehow turns into a man, someone holding a camera and moving. Those are the videos that I've seen. Maybe you have some other videos I've not seen.
So you've not seen the tunnel. What the drone does, it shows you the proximity of where the tunnel is, the direction it's going in, and so it flies in, and then they will cut to another. Yeah.
That's the problem. I need one continuous shot because I've seen multiple
That's impossible.
videos.
How do you do that?
Why is it impossible?
How do you fly a drone underground?
It's a tunnel.
Yeah, no, I'm saying how do you get a signal?
How can you get inside the tunnel?
No, I'm saying how do you get so we're saying the same thing. I'm saying it's impossible, as far as I'm aware, with the technology we have today, to fly a drone in the sky and then come into a tunnel and then fly through the tunnel. I'm saying I don't think that's possible with the technology we have today.
Why not?
Because you don't have signal.
With the technology that Israel has,
We don't have signal.
There is a videos like this.
So I'm not. So the technology I'm aware of that Israel does multiple things. It puts cameras on dogs, and dogs will go through. It has cameras which will go through on. They are electronic. a soldier standing there, and there are videos, by the way, of soldiers going into tunnels.
Yeah,
but the one you're talking about with the shipper, with the cemetery, sorry, is a drone shot that goes up, and then there's a spiral staircase, and it goes down.
Yeah, and
then
it's not the same.
So what I'm telling.
Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you another reason. Because even the path that the drone took had debris in it.
But
it was almost blocked. That was
I think the challenge we have here, and it is a challenge, is I won't accept example.
Go ahead.
So but there was no way 500 people killed in that explosion. Like almost every media outlet retracted those numbers, but Hamas never did. So Hamas kept that 500.
Okay, I need to see the statement from the Palestinian Health Ministry that says 500.
So I know the man personally. It's not a very dumb thing, and it is very dumb that. There was no, like, it wasn't a government statement. It wasn't. Hanania didn't post it, and that took off. And the Jewish Twitter was furious. No, it's just. I mean, like the Jews on Twitter. Jewish Twitter.
I know, because the bubble that I'm in is mostly.
No, seriously, I would recommend. It's what I tell everyone. Is like,
that's fine.
Get out of the bubble. Get out the echo chamber. I spend a lot of time on Quds now.
I've been trying, but the problem is every single time I talk to someone who supports Israel, they start quoting me the IDF, and that's not reliable.
But this is the challenge for us, because Israel, the IDF, is the organisation, the entity that collects all of the evidence. They're the ones in the war.
And the IDF has a history of lying.
I don't think they do. You say they do. I don't think they do.
I'll give you some examples.
Okay,
have you heard of Al-Wafa Hospital?
Yes, yeah.
Al-Wafa.
Al-Wafa.
Yes, Al-Wafa Hospital. Have you heard of it?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so in 2014 there was a hospital in Gaza called Al-Wafa Hospital.
So no, I'm not.
Okay, the IDF tweeted an image on Twitter saying this is the hospital, Hamas launched rocket from this hospital. They destroyed it. Turns out the image that they tweeted was not Al-Wafa Hospital, it was something else. They lied.
So this is 2014?
2014. I can show you the tweets, but again, you have to go back and confirm this. So take this as a claim. That's one. In 2009, have you heard of the Goldstone reports?
Yes.
Have you read it? Okay, so they document a case called the Daya family house. They bombed a house by mistake. This is according to them, by mistake. Because the target was the house next to them. When the mission went to visit the site, the actual alleged target was untouched. So they lied about making a mistake.
Could they have hit the wrong house?
I know, but the problem is, fine, you hit the wrong house. So why don't you hit the right house? Why didn't you just finish the job?
No, it was a mistake.
But they didn't. They said the target was this house, and they bombed the other one.
No, I'm saying, but they hit the wrong house in that instance. So that's what they said, yeah?
Yeah, but my point is continue and hit the right house.
But if they think they've hit the right house, that's why you wouldn't continue.
No. They made the statement. I think the following day they said this is a mistake. It's a tragedy. We are under pressure or whatever. They lied about it. They killed 22 people. They lied about it. Shireen Abu Akleh, same thing. They said this was Hamas.
So Shireen I know well. So Shireen Abu Akleh I know very well. And Israel has been pretty much consistent from the very beginning.
Because as far as I know, B'Tselem says no, Israel killed them.
It
was
matter
not
what
possible.
B'Tselem follow their donors. B'Tselem gets
which is the EU.
I mean, the EU is one of the big contributors, but they get huge.
Which is pro-Israel.
No, the EU is not. So B'Tselem is not a pro-Israel organisation. We all agree with that.
But it's a human rights organization.
Isn't it interesting how
it's an Israeli human rights organization?
So, but it's also, would you accept it's an anti-Israel occupation? It's an Israeli.
I don't know if it's anti or pro. All I know is they document.
Okay, they're never critical of Hamas. They're always critical of Israel. Would we agree with that?
They're never critical of Hamas. B'Tselem.
I mean, the bulk of their work is criticising the IDF. That's their function, yeah?
Do you know why?
Yes, because they're a left-wing political organisation.
Do you have a best friend? Any?
So I have I'm a bit of a loner, so I'm going to say yes, but my wife.
Good. So you're going to be critical of the people that you admire and respect and love more than of other people.
So
the reason they do this because they want the occupation to end.
So the left in any nation,
it's not about pro. It's a human rights.
Just make sure I'm still recording.
Yeah, it's a human rights organization. I can give you more examples.
Come back to Shireen Abu Akleh.
Shireen Abu Akleh.
What were you going to say? What we said?
And B'Tselem took the videos, analyzed it, and said, according to the videos that were shot, it's extremely unlikely that any Hamas militant or any Hamas member
Hamas,
killed
it was
them.
Palestinian Islamic
Whatever,
Jihad,
non-Palestinian, non-IDF, that's what I'm saying.
So I did a whole video on this showing Palestinian Islamic Jihad in the buildings.
Rachel Corrie, the same thing.
So one at a time,
Okay, go ahead.
So the Shireen Abu Akleh, you had Palestinian Islamic Jihad here, you had an IDF position here, and then you had Shireen Abu Akleh and the journalist coming around the corner and coming down the road. So the Israeli position was that there's a possibility, because they were in proximity and they were shooting at Palestinian Islamic Jihad this way, there's a possibility that they also could have shot this way. And Palestinian Islamic Jihad were shooting towards the IDF, who were in between Shireen Abu Akleh and the Islamic Jihad position. And so the bullet that killed her was by, I'm terrible with guns, but one of the guns was an M4 and the other one was an M6 possibly, share the same caliber type of, and both, on the day there's video of both IDF, because they released head footage of them running around with these guns shooting, and there's photographs of Islamic Jihad shooting down the alleyways in the exact same area with the same guns. So Israel said there's a possibility we did it, but we don't think we did.
So your point is it's contested. We don't know.
So I'm saying, well, you're saying that Israel's not lying. So I don't know all the cases you're bringing, so I can't. But this one I know very well, and that's not a case of Israel lying. Israel has been pretty consistent because there's accountability. There are investigations. If they are found to be lying, people are held accountable to that. And so I trust, because they have all these checks and balances. But most people don't realise this. If not at the moment in Gaza, but in ordinary circumstances, when it's not a war, if you want to take a shot, if you're an Israeli soldier and you want to take a shot at a Palestinian who's fighting a Palestinian Islamic Jihad, you have to get permission. You have to call it in, and the shot has to be approved. That rule has been wavered in Gaza at the moment because it's war and it's impractical to make a phone call to your superior to make sure you can have permission.
In all cases,
but I'm saying there's all these checks in all cases, except not just, it might be the case in some wars, but today in Gaza that's
excluding wars.
Yeah, you have to call in to take a.
What about protests?
So what Israel do? You have to get permission to call.
Even in protests?
Even in protests.
That's not the evidence that I have.
So what you'll see is most of the shots in protests are to the legs or to the arms. So usually the legs.
Do you know why?
Because they're not allowed. No, it's because you can't kill.
Do you know why? No. Do you know why they're shot? Do you know why they're shot? I'll tell you why.
Fatality.
I'll tell you why. I'm sure you've heard of the Great March for Return protests.
Yes.
Good. B'Tselem, same organization, published a document called "Unable and Unwilling: Israel Whitewash Investigations of Great March for Return protests." In the document, they include testimonies. Sniper testimonies, because what happened is Israel deployed snipers on the fence. They're including testimonies from one of the snipers. He says, and if you want, we can pull it up.
Is it anonymous, this testimony?
No, the name. I think his name is Eldar. There's another guy.
Okay.
He even appeared on a Hebrew TV show. I'm almost quoting. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing. He said you would be sitting there, and this is what he says. Some guy with a higher rank comes in, and he says, "I need someone." As in, I need you to shoot someone right now.
So I don't believe that. And then we're in an impasse.
Fine.
I'm not saying that's not in the
No, I know.
Because I know so many people that serve. I know so many snipers. And there's a very strict code that you have to stick to.
I'm not allowed to continue.
Sorry.
No, fine. Take it as a claim. The name of the document is Unable and Unwilling. This is for the viewers. Israel's whitewashed investigations of the Great March of Return protest. That's the name. They also include an interview. It's in Hebrew. I wasn't able to understand anything. But
Google Translate will help you.
It's a video.
Okay.
So they include a video of these snipers appearing on TV shows, on Hebrew TV shows, and talking about the testimonies. It's multiple testimonies.
Yeah.
That's one. Another testimony is a sniper aiming, and he says someone comes in, he says, "Come on, shoot. Why aren't you shooting? Why aren't you aiming? Just shoot. Go ahead, shoot." They pressure them to shoot Palestinians, to shoot protesters.
So I don't believe that.
That's fine.
Because there was such a strict. I'm not saying that doesn't exist in reports. There are many organisations, B'Tselem particularly, who are highly critical of Israel. I can give you 1,000 testimonies to the contrary of that. Yeah. So what do we do then when you've got one testimony that B'Tselem have managed to capture, and you've got 1,000 on the other side? What do you do then? Who do you trust?
That's amazing. That's perfect. Good. You can say that was a mistake. Fine.
No, it's not a mistake. I believe it's malicious.
No. Fine. No. What I'm saying is, let's say
you're saying it's not true. Okay.
No.
Okay. So say.
What I'm saying is, let's say this sniper who said that
Yeah.
and the officer, let's say they are not obeying the IDF code of conduct.
I mean, I don't think that happened, but I wasn't there, so I haven't read the report you're talking about. But I'm saying there is such a strict military. Like, every single sniper goes through rigorous training. They need to get permission to take a shoot, and there's no way that a commander would come in and say that we need one. What I would say is, from the Great March of Return, hear me out. Have you seen the videos? Forget documents. Have you seen the videos of Palestinians coming into Israel with guns, with weapons, with axes, crossing through the fence? Have you seen those videos?
No.
So that's what Israel was trying to prevent. So when there was shooting, that's what they were trying to stop. But there are literal videos, and it's very readily available on the internet, of Palestinians crossing into Israel. Now, we saw on October the 7th, when those...
We'll get to the
No, I've just got to...
You still made the claim I haven't addressed yet.
Okay, can I just conclude that, and then we can come back? So on October the 7th, we saw what happened when Hamas come into Israeli territory. So when Israel is shooting at Palestinians who are trying to cross into Israel, they actually were shooting to kill in some of those instances. Because if they see someone shooting a gun, which was happening, they are not going to shoot for the legs. If there's a risk to Israelis, they will then get permission to get...
Okay, I'll say a couple more things, and then we'll end with, go back to the document and read it for yourself. Another thing the document includes is the definition of an instigator. Who is an instigator? Who makes the riots? What I'm saying is, if you feel threatened in a protest, generally speaking in a protest, not specifically with the IDF, if you're threatened, sure, you can defend yourself, you can do whatever, that's not my point. And even if those videos are true and they moved in with...
Yes, they did.
Not just that, I'm going to say that Palestinians had suicide bombing vests. Did they?
No,
I'm going to say that happened. I'm going to say that happened. That does not give you the right to shoot unarmed, peaceful protesters.
But we're saying they were armed. They weren't peaceful protesters. Why are they?
No, I'm not
talking
about those.
Israel?
I'm talking about the sniper that says shoot.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think that happened. Maybe it did. Maybe there was.
Fine.
I mean, actually, I'm not going to. Israel is like any other nation.
I know.
You will have bad apples in Israel.
That's why I said let's assume they violated the IDF code of conduct. That's my assumption. Let's assume they violated it. As of 2021, only one Israeli soldier has been punished. Over 200 dead Palestinians, including the guy, that's over 200 dead Palestinians, and the sniper that we just talked about. Israel only punished one soldier. So only one.
But I'm saying these were violent. We saw what happened on October the 7th when these riots.
This happened 2018-19.
No, I know.
We haven't got to the 7th.
No, I understand. But Israel was preventing what just happened.
No, it was not preventing.
What do you think they were trying to do with the Great March of Return? It wasn't a peaceful march into Israel. There were Hamas were bussing in people, creating smoke shields, sending civilians, and then shooting and trying to cross into Israeli territory with weapons.
Do you see what you're doing right now? I am talking about them targeting civilians, and you're telling me there have been instances of violence and riots.
Why were Hamas putting civilians on the fence?
I'm not asking that. I'm talking about specific incidents. Even if there was violence, even if, as I said, they had suicide bombers trying to breach the fence, it didn't happen. They were trying to breach the fence.
They did breach the fence. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to keep up.
I'm saying even if that happens, that does not justify the targeting of kids.
So I don't think Israel is targeting. This is the thing. Israel is not targeting kids. Okay, baby, can I ask one question? We both know Israel's military might, yeah?
Yes.
And if Israel wanted to kill an awful lot of Palestinians, every Palestinian, it has the military capability to do so. Do we agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah, Israel isn't doing that. Do we agree on that? Israel is not trying to kill every last Palestinian. And actually, the death toll is not yet. Israel is not trying. If Israel wanted to, it would and could kill every last Palestinian in Gaza.
Within a day.
Within a day, yes.
Okay. If Hitler wanted to kill all the Jews, he could have done so in a day.
No, he couldn't. There wasn't the capability. Hitler did not have that capability.
Was there a time when Jews were in concentration camps unharmed, alive? Was there a time?
No, from the very beginning there were death camps. Not death camps. There were death squads.
I know. But they were in concentration camps alive, right? Is that true?
There were Jews before they were killed.
Is that true?
There would have
so
been,
the point is, Hitler wanted to kill them, but he didn't kill them immediately. Because he did not. I'm using your reasoning. Because he didn't kill them immediately, therefore he didn't want to kill them.
Okay.
That's your reasoning. Because
no, so it's the opposite.
Let me finish. Because Israel is not immediately killing all the Palestinians, therefore they don't want to kill the Palestinians. That's your argument.
So no, my argument is very, very simple. It's this simple. Israel has allowed 250,000 tons of aid in. It created humanitarian.
Wait. I'm getting there.
I know, but
You've made the point multiple times.
Allow me to answer in my language.
Palestine.
Go speak Hebrew. Go ahead.
Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Continue.
Just waiting for this.
He's not gonna continue.
Free Palestine.
First and foremost, we spent a lot of money on it. We're not giving it away for free.
Yeah, you stole it.
They didn't steal it. We bought. We lived there continuously. We purchased land at exorbitant costs, and the Arabs waged a genocidal war, lost, and they're still crying to this
Because
day.
the Jews and the
Jews are supposed to live.
cleanse the thing.
No, ethnically cleansed. The Arabs.
Let's get
ethnically
back
cleansed
to the thing.
Jews.
Let's get back to the thing. Let's get
The
back
Arabs
to the
ethnically. There are 2 million Arabs that live in Israel with complete equality. There's not one. There's not one Palestinian.
Wait,
Jew.
what did he say? What did he say?
Yeah, well done.
What did you say?
Let me
The
just get a
Jews,
shot of
the
that.
Arabs.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Are you getting the shot?
Again. Big man, brave man, do it again. Do your Nazi salute again on camera. Thought so.
Awesome. That was.
Now let's hold it.
I don't want to mess anyone else's camera up.
Just make
Are
sure.
we both in shot?
Yeah, they're in shot.
Now you talk about the equal rights and let's stick to the 7th. They don't have equal rights. They don't.
Who doesn't have equal
Arabs and
rights?
Jews in Israel.
So this is what made. So this we'll get to October 7th. But there are 2 million Arabs that live in Israel. They have complete equality with Jews. Let me finish, and then you can respond to me. Arabs like Salam Jabran have sent a judge, have sent Jewish prime ministers and Jewish presidents to jail. The highest performing group in education, a religious group, are Christian Arabs. You have Arabs in the government. You have Arabs in the diplomatic service. You have Arabs in the military. Arabs have every right that Jews have in Israel. In contrast, there is not one.
Don't change the subject.
I'm not changing the subject. I'm not changing it. It's the exact same subject. In contrast, there is not. So there are 2 million Arabs in Israel with complete equality. There's not one Jewish Palestinian because Article 6 of the Palestinian National Charter bans Jews from citizenship. If an Arab sells their house to a Jew, they face jail or death under the Palestinian Authority of Hamas. So in Israel, there's complete equality.
This is not going to work if you're going to shout over me. Please, let me finish.
I mean, I thought I was speaking, so it's me to finish and then you respond.
because I was signed into.
But okay,
you just talked about 10 different things. You said they have equal rights.
Yes.
They don't have equal rights.
What rights don't
the
they have?
2018 basic law says the right of self-determination is unique to the Jewish people.
The 2003 Basic Law of the Palestinian 2003 Law of the Palestinian Authority.
Wait, we're talking about Israel. We're talking about. Hold on.
They have the same statement. They have an Arab nation.
Did I claim they have equal rights? Did I claim that?
So
did I claim?
All national.
Did I claim?
No, you didn't.
Good. You claim that Arabs and Jews have equal rights in Israel.
What does self-determination mean?
Can I finish?
Yeah, I'm genuinely just addressing what you just said.
Can I finish?
Yes, please.
Good. You said they have equal rights.
They do.
The basic law says they don't.
So what does the law say?
Whatever.
No, I'm asking. How is it
you want the exact thing?
It says that only the Jewish people have the right to national self-determination.
Yes, the right to self-determination, the historic
national. So that means that the language is Hebrew. It means that the festivals aren't Eid, isn't Ramadan, although they are celebrated.
What's your point again?
So what it's saying is the character of Israel is Jewish. And it's fine that there's one Jewish state in the world. That might make you a little bit sad as a Muslim, that there's not another Muslim state, one of the many dozens. But all it's saying is that this is a Jewish nation, but the rights of the citizens within there are exactly the same. You have to show me one law, one advantage that Jews have that Arabs don't. Self-determination, literally every signpost is in Hebrew, Arabic and English, even though the national language is Hebrew. That's not the case in the UK.
I just gave you an example of a right given to Jews and not Arabs.
No, that's a
the right of self-determination. Is it given to Arabs? Yes or no?
So you're conflating national with individual. We're talking individual rights of Arabs.
No. You said Arabs have equal rights, right? With Jews.
What does self-determination mean? I'm asking you.
Whatever. It means gibberish.
It doesn't mean gibberish. That's the whole purpose of the argument.
Let me finish.
Phoebe, what does it mean?
Let me finish.
You're saying they don't. How can? Okay, please finish.
Thank you. What I'm saying is, whatever it is only unique to the Jewish people and not the Arabs. Unique to the Jewish people.
Okay, so what is it? What does that deny an Arab? I'm asking you. What does that deny them?
Can I finish?
So you're saying that for Israel?
Can I finish?
Please.
Do Arabs have that right?
So it's not an individual right. It's not an individual right. It's a national. It's what is the national? Is Israel is the character of Israel
Jewish,
Muslim, Arab or Jewish? It's Jewish. It's the Jewish state. That's not discriminatory. And
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying. I'm not even.
You're saying that that's what we got. That's how we started on this.
You made a specific claim that Arabs and Jews have equal rights in
They
Israel.
do.
And I'm saying they don't, because there's at least one right that Jews have and Arabs don't.
I'm talking individuals, not the collective. I'm saying otherwise you would just say like, why isn't it called Palestine? Why is it called this? This is a nonsense argument. I'm saying what individual rights are denied? Like as an individual, the right to vote, education, healthcare. Okay, perfect. Give me an example.
Have you read This is Apartheid by Amnesty International?
Yes, actually. I mean, it's a huge report, so it depends how deep you're going to go into it.
No. It's just a specific incident. In there, they talk about a community. And there, they talk about an Arab community that wanted to establish some transportation system for schools, and the court said no, because that would undermine the Jewish character of the of the town. So they can't even set that up in the name of preserving the name of the character of the Jews, of the Jewish nation. Now again, I said there's at least one right that Jews have that Arabs don't. Do you have a response to that? Is that true?
So is what true? Is
that there's at least one right in Israel?
I'm disagreeing with you. I'm saying that's as an individual, Arabs have individually the exact same rights as Jews, from healthcare to education to voting to
self-determination.
Actually, I'll give you one example.
To self-determination.
Self-determination is at the national level. It's at the collective level.
Where does it say in the law? Where does it say in the basic law that it's about national level?
Pull it up. I mean, that's what self-determination is.
No, I know. Why does it say that it is only limited to as a collective, to Jews as a collective?
Well, that's what self-determination means.
The thing is that
it's determined as a collective. Jews have never had the ability to Jews have never had self-determination in any nation for thousands of years since we last had a state. And now we're saying now Jews have the right to self-determination. And you're like, oh my God, that's so discriminatory. Jews can finally self-determine and establish a Hebrew nation where the language is Hebrew and the festivals are Jewish. Astaghfirullah, this is such an apartheid. Come on, mate. In Israel, I'm nearly done. Muslims, there are hundreds of mosques. You know when Jordan conquered the West Bank, they destroyed all the synagogues. They ethnically cleansed the Jews. In contrast, Israel preserved the right for Muslims to worship. They preserved all the street signs in Arabic. They preserved the Muslim communities of Israel. At the start, when Israel was created, 17% of the population were Arabs. Today, over 20% are Arabs. The Muslim population has grown year on year in Israel, disproportionate to the rest of the population. In contrast, the Jews were ethnically cleansed and there are no Jewish Palestinians. So you can say apartheid till you're blue in the face, but your argument is basically that Israel is a Jewish state and that's what you object to, that you're saying that Jews cannot have self-determination. Because you can't have two different competing populations having self-determination. It can't be a Muslim state and a Jewish state. It can't be an Arab state and a Jewish state. And the Palestinian Basic Law is explicit, which predates the nation state law, which says exactly the same thing for the Palestinians. And nobody calls that apartheid. Yet not only does it say that the Palestinians are an Arab people and it's an Arab state and blah, 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 they actually ethnically cleanse the Jews and enforce laws that deny them citizenship. And yet groups like Amnesty International have the chutzpah to talk about Israel being an apartheid when there's literal Arab judges that send Jewish prime ministers to jail.
Are you done?
Yes.
I don't appreciate the straw man at the position at the beginning when he said, "Oh my God, I'm denying that. I'm saying it's apartheid because Jews have the right." I did not say that.
Okay, apologies.
I did not say that. I made a very specific claim.
Listening, I'm just making sure I'm recording clearly.
Okay.
Yes, I am. You made a very specific claim. Sorry.
A very specific claim. You said they have equal rights. I said they don't. Now, does that mean that Jews and Arabs and Muslims and Christians and atheists have equal rights in every other Muslim nation? Maybe yes, maybe not. I don't know. I don't care, because right now we're talking about Israel. Does it matter that in Jordan they did whatever after they persecuted the Jews? That was horrible. Yes. Is it relevant? No, it's not relevant. We're talking about Israel. You said, and I did not say Israel is apartheid. I merely referenced the document because I figured that if you had read the document, it would make it easier for me to give you the.
I have read the document.
I can simply give you the page. I think I have the page number. I can give it to you, and then maybe it would make it easier. I did not say it was apartheid. I did not make that claim.
Okay, so can I ask a question? Sorry to interrupt. So you're not saying that Israel is an apartheid?
I'm not saying yes at this point. I'm not saying no
Okay.
at this point. That's not the point. I'm not even talking about that. Specific claim. Right of self-determination. The right to return. Only Jews have the right to return, not Arabs. That's another right afforded to Jews and not Arabs. Is that true?
So that is true. That is true.
So, do they have equal rights, Jews and Arabs?
So Arabs so very, very clearly. I don't want to be so there's no confusion.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm saying Arab citizens of Israel
Yes.
have the exact same rights as Jews. Arabs who are not living in Israel are not citizens of Israel.
So, an Arab citizen of Israel, is he able to sell all his belongings, leave, and then come back 20 years?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. But even then, again, right of self-determination.
So I've brought him here before. I've got a friend of mine, Yusuf Haddad, Christian Arab.
I've heard this guy.
Like he will tell you. He'll give testimony that every right that's afforded to the Jews is afforded to the Arabs of Israel. And I'd go even further than that. Ben Gurion, was it Ben Gurion? No, Chaim Weizmann said in the Jewish state, not one hair on the back. No, sorry, that was Ben Gurion said not one hair on the back of the Arabs will be harmed. It was Chaim
we've seen what
Weizmann.
that's like.
Chaim Weizmann actually said that not one right will be given to the Jews that isn't given to the Arabs. They literally, so we have the Jewish leaders at the beginning of the state saying the rights of the Arabs will be protected, and they were and have been continuously to this day. In contrast, the Arabs said that we're literally going to pave the roads from Damascus to Jerusalem with the skulls of Jews.
Did they really say that? Was that a quote?
Azam Pasha said that, yes.
Some Arabs.
No, the head of the Arab League.
What did he say? He said
that we're going to pave the skulls from Damascus to Jerusalem with the skulls of Jews. Haji Min al-Husseini said, my Muslim brothers slaughtered I declare jihad, slaughter the Jews,
they're
slaughter
dogs,
them all.
they're human animals. Same language.
No, not the same language.
Human animals. Human animals. They're dogs, sons of dogs. Erase them.
They're talking about Hamas.
No, it's
yes,
not. No, they're not.
Who are you talking about?
I'll tell you, the defense minister.
So,
human animals.
100% talking about Hamas. But anyway,
that's why he blockaded. That's why he seized 2.2 million people, because he's just concerned about Hamas.
So again, we're jumping around, but I'll finish my point, and then we can come back there.
No, you kept shoving the seventh into this conversation.
We'll come back. Let me conclude my thoughts with
and
what I was saying.
Even then,
so
there's
what I was going to say,
the
Israeli leaders at the conception of the state were saying we're going to protect the rights of Arabs. The Arab leaders were saying, hear me out. The Arab leaders were saying we're going to genocide the Jews. Yeah. And then what happened was Israel preserved the right. At the point of the establishment of Israel, there were 17% of the 0.5% of the population were Arab. Today, over 20%. They own every single office of government, from sitting in the cabinet to sitting in the IDF to sitting on the judiciary to doctors to whatever.
Yeah, but no self-determination, no right self-determination.
Because it's the Jewish state. Like you can't have a Jewish state that's also a Muslim state. It doesn't work.
I know. Okay, so I've got a question for you. So in Jordan, let's say you talk about Jordan. Does the Jordanian constitutions they say that the right of self-determination is unique to Muslims?
So the Jordanian law bans Jews from citizenship.
Not what I said.
Okay.
Not what I said. Does it say?
I imagine it says it's a Muslim nation. I don't know what it says.
No. Does it say that the right of self-determination in Jordan is unique to the Arabs or Muslims?
So I imagine that it says it in the exact same way, but it will use different language because it's not using language.
How many Arab or how many Muslim countries say that the right of self-determination in our land is unique to Muslims?
So they're literally several Muslim countries actually ban non-Muslims from citizenship. But if they get self-determination, you're not even allowed to be a citizen.
Because you keep comparing Israel to all these countries. So
I'm giving you examples.
Let's compare them.
Okay.
How many Muslim countries?
I can't take the exact number, but I'll give you some examples. I'll give you some actual examples.
Just like when I said the 2018 Basic Law says the right to self-determination, I quoted you the law. Okay. Now, you tell me the name of the country and you quote me the law.
So you are denied citizenship. You can't be a citizen of Kuwait as one. I'm not sure. Dubai, Saudi definitely, unless you're a Muslim. I don't like speaking ill against the Saudis because they're our mates these days. But there are many Muslim nations where to be a citizen, you explicitly need to be Muslim. And there are even laws
in the Constitution?
Yeah. You can literally Google this.
One.
got to be the national of the country. Like, you know,
But to be a national, you have to be a Muslim.
not necessarily.
So, I'm sorry. So, for instance, if you look at many of the Gulf states, and I don't want to speak ill against the Gulf states because they're our boys these days, but many of the migrant workers are denied citizenship. You can be born there, you can have rights, you can be resident, but you're not allowed to become a citizen of the state because you have to be a Muslim, and often you need to be born into one of the different clans that live there to be
The people in that part of the world, like UAE and so forth, whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim doesn't matter. If you're not a resident of UAE and born in
No,
UAE,
resident is different to a citizen. A resident is different to a citizen.
Yeah, so
they grant many, for instance, many British people go out to these countries and they live there and they're given residency, but they're not given citizenship.
Unless you're Emirati, they're not going to give it to you. Yeah.
So we're saying the same thing.
Do you understand? That's what
Are there any non-Muslim citizens?
Say again?
Are there any non-Muslim citizens?
I haven't done the research.
Maybe you should.
I'm just giving you a few basics.
But anyway,
CIA stats says Saudi Arabia is a 100% Muslim nation.
That says in its basic constitution or basic law that the right of self-determination is unique to Muslims around.
So when a nation says we are a Muslim nation, like the Islamic Republic of Iran, like Saudi Arabia, any of these nations that define themselves as Muslim and say they follow what their interpretation of the Sharia is expressing self-determination. It's just using different language.
That means that the population of Muslims in Iran cannot be less than 50%. Because as soon as you get to 49%, you're no longer a Muslim nation. You're some other kind of nation.
So they're saying they're saying that. I mean, that you literally cannot. You could never get to that situation.
Do you have
unless the nation apostates, which is punishable by death.
Do you have it now?
Do I have what now?
The evidence that there's at least one
I can show you my phone, but I'm recording
that
at the moment.
says the right of self-determination is.
So I think I'm trying to be as good faith as I can with you. And can you explain to me? Because maybe I'm misunderstanding. So I'm just going to put my question. I'm trying to answer your question. And it's, what is the difference to a nation that says that only Jews have the right to self-determination, and it's a genuine question, to a nation that defines itself as Muslim and following the Sharia? What is the difference?
Sharia allows non-Muslims.
No, a non-Muslim in a Sharia state, a non-Muslim can never be the Caliph, as an example. Khalifa can never.
I know, but that's not the same. No,
he can never be the leader.
No, I know. Now you're talking about equal rights. Now you're talking about equal rights. Because not the specific point of them. What's the difference?
But if they had self-determination, they could become the leader.
One at a time.
So I'm asking, what do you mean by self-determination? I think maybe we're talking past each other. I'm asking, what is your definition of self-determination?
They are the only ones that have the right to have a state of their own in this this national home in this location.
Yes. So perfect.
Repeat your question because I don't think you realize.
Okay. So let me say what I think I'm saying.
What's the difference?
So let me say what I think I'm saying. When it says who has the right to self-determine on the national level, it's saying this is a Jewish state. Yeah. So effectively saying this is a Jewish state. It's not saying that other people won't have rights. It's not saying that other people can't live there, but that the character of the nation is Jewish. So when the Saudi constitution, hear me out and then respond, because I think we may just be talking past each other. When the Saudi constitution says that Saudi Arabia is a Muslim country and it follows the Sharia, how is that different? That's where I'm.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if you're truly follow the Sharia, if you truly follow that, you would allow non-Muslims in.
But we haven't. Israel has non-Jews in. They live and they have complete equality. That's not what we're saying.
I know, okay.
We're saying
so
what is the state? That's why.
What is not the difference? What's the same? What's similar between saying that this country is Muslim and the right of self-determination is only Jewish?
So ignore the language. Just you're getting hung up on the word. No, hear me out. Hear me out.
You know why?
Because they use it. Self-determination is a Western concept, yes? Saudi Arabia is an Eastern nation.
I cannot ignore the language. Do you know why?
It's very important. Allow me to finish. Khalas.
Khalas, good. Khalas.
So, if I were to say the Israeli the nation-state law says Israel is a Jewish state, because that's what self-determination is saying, is like the character of the nation, like this is the only Jewish state in the world. I'm saying ignore what language they use, because they're going to use different language because they come from different cultures. The Saudis saying that this is a Muslim state is no different to the Israelis saying that this is a Jewish state. Both would say, according to the Sharia and according to the laws of the nation, non-Jews and non-Muslims can live there. And I would say that the non-Jews in Israel have far more rights than non-Jews under the Sharia. An Arab Israeli doesn't pay a tax until he's humiliated. He pays the same tax as a Jew. An Arab can be in the government, an Arab can be in the Prime Minister of Israel. That's not the case under any Sharia-based state. So I would say, ignore the word self-determination, because you're getting hung up on that, because it's not going to have that word, that formulation of wording, and that's not, it's a disingenuous, it's an argument in bad faith. Because if you were being in good faith, you'd say that what they're saying is this is a Jewish state, and then the Saudis are saying this is a Muslim state. And no one takes umbrage with that.
No.
I'm just going to make sure I'm recording that.
Again?
Yeah, it's on me.
Also, if you're saying that a Jewish state or self-determination means you can establish your own state, you can't do that in Britain. You can't establish your own state in Britain.
It is not disingenuous. It's not in bad faith. Do you know why?
Okay,
because
please.
the very basic, the first basic law of Israel says Israel is a Jewish democratic. So no need to reiterate that Israel is Jewish. No need to pass a law. The first basic law was 1948, 1950. The first.
They introduced the basic clause in 48. Yeah.
48. There is no reason to pass a law, another law, in 2018. What, 60, 70 years after that, just to say that Israel is a Jewish nation.
They did, because there's clearly confusion over it.
Israel is a Jewish nation. No need to reiterate that.
But what does that mean, a Jewish nation? That's what they're saying.
Because it has to maintain a Jewish majority.
So if they said it in 48 and they're saying it, so please. Yeah,
the second thing, you said I'm hung up on the language. Of course I am. Yeah. Do you know why? Because it's law.
So it's good because you're in all their campus, but not mine.
Oh, really?
I want the middle one. It's too low.
I am getting hung up on the language because it's law, it's constitution. The words matter here. But they play a significant role. You cannot say, because you have disputes on the wording of the laws. I'm talking about, like, generally speaking. You can find loopholes of that. That's why I'm so focused on the terminology.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
If someone is trying to adhere to the deen of Muhammad,
the what?
The deen.
I know. No. The what?
The deen.
I know. If someone is trying to.
Adhere, like follow the sunnah.
Okay.
Follow the sunnah. Does Muhammad ever use the term self-determination?
No, probably not. No.
Yeah, it's a Western concept, so we wouldn't expect to see it in the constitution of a nation that's trying to follow Muhammad. Is that a fair argument for me to say?
Not in English.
No, in Arabic. In Arabic.
No, I don't think so. No.
You think that's unfair of me to say that?
No. I mean, what I meant to say is the phrase itself.
Yeah, you're unlikely to find it.
New.
Yeah, exactly.
Modern.
Exactly. And to their credit, Muslims try to preserve the traditions of their religious leaders.
Yeah. See, listen. What I'm not saying is Jews cannot be Jews. I'm not saying that. I am not saying that Jews cannot create a community that maintains the Jewish traditions. I am not saying that. Literally, I'm not saying that. I am saying that there's this thing called self-determination, and you're saying, yeah, but see, this is more of a Western thing. We shouldn't be hung up on the language.
I'm saying they're expressing the same sentiment. I think we've done this to death. I think we can agree to disagree, because it's.
You brought up something that I didn't get the chance to talk about, which is the bombing and the text messages and the leaflets and all that. Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Before you ask, I'm just going to make sure I'm recording now, just because now it's going to get juicy for my channel, and I want to make sure I get all of this. Okay.
Yes, so let me ask you a question.
Please.
When did Israel start bombing Gaza after the 7th?
I think so. Israel responded with bombs on the October the 7th.
Good. So there's no warning there.
So no, I'm talking about the ground incursion. Yeah. When I said the warning, we were talking about moving the troops and moving the tanks in, which is where it becomes far more deadly for civilians.
No, a 2-ton bomb, a 1-ton bomb is more deadly than a bullet.
But they weren't dropping. They weren't dropping.
But bombs in general are more deadly than bullets. I think we can agree to that, because the title that I read was like they bombed a tower, they destroyed it.
Bombs.
So they started bombing. My point is they started bombing them on the 7th. Good.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now you referenced the Geneva Convention.
Yes.
Do you think that Israel should be held accountable to that standard?
Israel holds itself accountable to that standard.
Do you believe that they should.
Yes and yes.
Good. So the Geneva Convention does not only say that we should give warning, we should give effective warning. There's a difference. There's a difference between a warning and effective warning.
So can I ask you what an effective warning would be in this
For example,
context?
give them enough time, give them clear directions, tell them where to go.
So I believe all of that's been followed.
One at a time. The CNN and The Guardian both reported, I think this was on the 10th, they told people to move south,
Yes.
and then they bombed them.
No. So there was an explosion, and you can literally watch it frame by frame. So I'll give you an example. In I think was it Khan Yunis where they had the Qatari buildings that they built, and you can literally see if you slow down the video, you can watch the bomb which Israel's dropped falling down through the frame by frame, and then hitting the buildings.
I think I've seen that
And
video.
with the explosion on the humanitarian corridor, where the civilians were fleeing south, there was no bomb entering above or from the side. So it's understood that there was an IED which the convoy went over, and that was the cause of that explosion. We also have multiple videos, which I can't show you, but if you Google it on Twitter, you'll find it. Multiple videos of Palestinians saying they can't leave because Hamas are shooting them. And there are multiple videos of Palestinians complaining about Hamas shooting them when they're trying to flee. So we're in this difficulty where... So...
CNN.
But that's not the convoy, that's completely different.
I'm not talking about that.
Sorry,
I'm talking about
at
the beginning. So this is another. They followed evacuation orders. An Israeli airstrike killed them the next day.
So what I will say, can I respond to that?
Go ahead.
So Israel, and this is the Geneva Convention. People misunderstand what proportionality means.
Israel doesn't care about proportionality.
No, it actually does.
It has a doctrine of using disproportionate power.
Do you know what proportionality means in terms of the Geneva Convention?
Yeah, I know what it means.
Okay, what?
For example, let's say we have a hospital.
No, just like the 2 points. Well, there's basically 2 points it means.
There has to be a military objective achieved,
yeah.
and the law.
The civilians. Okay, so we're talking the same language,
yeah.
you know. So in the case, what Israel will do is it will give warning if, for instance, there's going to be a ground incursion and it's going to be a long-term campaign. But let's say you've got a commander, and this is a moral question where you could say, yes, it's immoral, no, it's not immoral.
Okay.
But you've got a commander, Hamas commander, in a tower block.
In a
tower block, let's say there's 3 families that they know if they hit the top floor, there's 3 other flats on that top floor, and there's likely to be collateral damage, civilian casualties. Israel will say in that instance the military objective justifies the harm to civilian, and an Israeli commander has to make the call of whether that military objective is justified in accordance to the Geneva Convention. Because in any war, these decisions are made in every war, whether it's from World War II to Iraq War to Afghanistan.
Yes,
so we're on the same page, I think. There.
Yeah, we're not talking about proportionality and justifying the bombings. I engage with a specific point. You said they give them warnings.
Yes.
I said they should give effective warnings.
And I'm saying they do.
And I just showed you an article that says they bombed them when they went to the south.
Let me show you the proof of how they do.
Okay, wait. Before you continue, do you concede the article?
No, I'm not conceding. I'm responding to the argument. I certainly do not concede the argument. So the key thing where we're disagreeing with here is you're saying an effective warning has to be for every strike, and I'm saying no. I'm saying the proof that there are effective warnings is that if you take the United Nations number, over 50% of the buildings in Gaza have been damaged or destroyed, which means that if there were 1 million people, about 50% of the Palestinian population that were living in those buildings, there would be 1 million or certainly hundreds of thousands of fatalities. But there aren't hundreds of thousands of fatalities, and the reason for that is Israel has given effective warnings to the Palestinians to leave, which is why they've been able to flee into the south, flee into Rafah, flee into the safe zones. Israel creates maps with little sections and says, we're going into this area, then this area, please leave these areas. And you're absolutely right, there will be instances where Hamas engage them, or there's hostages, or whatever it may be, which means that they actually do target something in a safe zone. And that has definitely happened, but it's because in response to Hamas or Islamic Jihad presence, 2 minutes, and then you can respond and refute me. But my proof is very simple. It's very simple. If Israel was indiscriminately and disproportionately targeting Palestinians, there would be the current ratio with Hamas and Israeli numbers. I accept Israel, I reject Hamas. You accept Hamas and reject Israel.
But I accept the Palestinian ministry.
Okay, which is Hamas. Which is Hamas. But just
okay, fine. You accept the Likud party.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
So, that's fine. They are the government. Actually,
yeah, they're radicals.
What I would say is it's not the Likud party when it comes to any Israeli government.
It is
because it's a unity government. So it's all factions in Israel at the moment.
Okay. And they all want to slaughter Palestinians.
But allow me to respond, and then you can refute my point. There's a 2-to-1 ratio at the moment. Israel's saying 12,000 Hamas have been killed, or fighters have been killed, and the Hamas Ministry of Health is saying over 30,000 have been killed. So that's a 2-to-1 ratio, yeah, which for a military urban warfare is a low. It's not even that it's acceptable. It's a low ratio. You usually have like 8-to-1 and things like that, like in Iraq, Aleppo, places like that. So what I'm saying is very, very simple. If Israel was doing what you're describing and not giving effective warning and disproportionately and indiscriminately targeting Palestinians, it wouldn't be a 2-to-1 ratio, it would be a 100-to-1 ratio. It would be, because they literally, according to the UN, taken out 50% or more than 50% of the buildings damaged or destroyed. And so my question to you is, why is the ratio 2-to-1 if Israel is not giving an effective warning?
Can I answer now?
Definitely.
Okay.
I spoke a long time.
I'll go back to the point that I made. Warning has to be effective. We just saw an article from the CNN, which is not very Hamas friendly. We're talking about the CNN. They approve everything has to be approved from Tel Aviv. They said they bombed them.
No, you're saying
the Tel Aviv office. They said they followed evacuation orders and then they bombed them. Daniel Hagari, you know him.
Not personally, but yes. Yeah.
I know, yeah.
I mean, I know some of them personally. That's why I'm saying that.
Daniel Hagari. He said, "We will drop tens of hundreds of bombs, and the emphasis is on damage, not accuracy." Now, if you're trying to be accurate and surgical, why would you say that the emphasis is on damage and not accuracy? That's a question. You can answer it later. Not now. Let me finish. Second, you said Israel is not being disproportionate. Israel is very much being disproportionate. They have a whole doctrine for wielding disproportionate force. Have you heard of the Hayya doctrine?
So, again, disproportionate, we're meaning different things. I'm talking in relation to the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, that. I'm also talking about that. They said we will wield disproportionate forces, disproportionate firepower, and all that. So they don't care about that. They don't care about proportionality.
You're misrepresenting. Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting. Sorry. I'm just going to make sure.
Okay, good.
Let's get juicy. Yeah.
So, as I said, the warning has to be effective. Bombing people when they follow your orders is not effective. Deliberately targeting them is not effective. There's an Israeli journalist who said in some cases we know what the targets are, who the targets are. For example, we know that we bombed a tower and then Walid Dahdou's family, Walid Dahdou, he's a journalist, he said his family was there. We know in some cases we know what they're bombing. So deliberately targeting them is not effective warning. The New York Times, which I loathe, but they published an investigation.
Shouldn't. They're on your side.
Oh, no.
They are.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. So, the New York Times published an investigation. They said they looked at satellite images and they found that Israel used one of its most destructive weapons, one of its most destructive bombs on areas they deemed safe. That is not effective. Saying that the emphasis is on damage and not accuracy, that's not effective. Now back to the ratio. You said 2-to-1. Of course, that is an imaginary number. I don't trust that number. Now, if you look at the ratio of Hamas to Palestinians, is 1 to 55. So for every Hamas member, there are 55 Palestinians. That's the ratio.
Who you do just for context? I don't know the ratio.
No, I just divided it. That's all. So I took 40,000 divided by 2.2 million, and you get 1 for 55.
Okay.
And you're telling me that you're killing 1 to 2.
Yes.
Your ratio should be 1 to 55. If you're truly holding all these standards, your ratio.
That's not what proportion. Sorry, I'm interrupting, but that's not what proportion.
Your ratios of civilians to Hamas should be. Hamas should be 1. Civilians should be 50. Like for every 55 civilians, you should kill 1 Hamas. You're saying it's 1 to 2. That's way more than 1 to 55. You're killing more than the average.
Sorry, maybe I'm being really. So you're saying.
What I'm saying is.
You're saying there should be 55 Palestinians
No,
killed
no.
for every one Hamas fighter? I'm not following you.
My
math is terrible. But,
what I'm saying, you said look at the number of people killed and to the number of Hamas people killed.
So I'm saying when you calculate proportional, like a ratio, not proportionality.
It's 1 to 2.
No. I'm saying how you do that is it's not to do with how large the population is. That's got nothing to do with.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, so
I'm getting there, but sorry. Because you said I'm not following. So you said the ratio of civilians to Hamas. How much is that?
Is it 1 to 2 civilians to every 1 Hamas?
Good. So let's imagine Israel killed 1 million Hamas. How many people would Israel have killed? Imaginary.
Imaginary. I mean, there's too many, but there would have been 2 million Palestinians.
Exactly, but that's not the ratio of Hamas to civilian population. The ratio is 1 to 55. It's way less. So Israel's killing more than
that's the case
the percentage.
But that's not how.
I know. We're getting there. Because let's talk about Iraq. Let's talk about Iraq. Did the U.S. give warning to people?
No.
So Israel's doing all these things. They're killing more civilians.
Because there's no conflict that's comparable to what Hamas have effectively fortified Gaza behind the civilians.
There's no conflict that is.
There's comparable to what's happening in Gaza.
So why are you comparing Gaza to other conflicts?
No, so I'm saying, but the reason it isn't that all we can do is we look at previous precedent, yeah.
But you just said you cannot compare them.
No, I'm saying in terms of the conflict. So
you're gonna hear a lot of things.
Just apologies, just said something behind me, and I am going to have to go in a minute because it's getting dark and I don't like being here.
How long do you have? Because I still have another question about indigeneity.
Okay, so let's race through this. So conclude your point and then I'll respond to
here's my point. Precedents. Let's talk about precedent. I'm going to take a while to talk about this point. Let's talk about precedents. If you look at how Israel has behaved in the past, in 2014, 2008 specifically, because those are the two.
I think they behave morally, and you think they behave immorally. That's the issue we're at. I think that. Oh, sorry.
You just said Okay.
That's like for myself.
Okay. If you look at how they have been behaving. Okay, this is my theory. I think I can defend this. You will conclude two things. The troops on the ground, the Israeli troops on the ground, do deliberately target civilians. Sometimes for fun. They just target them. There are multiple cases. For example, the Goldstone report. They record a case where they they searched a family. They separated the men from the women and children. They zip-tied the men and they told them to go. Like they told the family to move to a certain location. And then for no reason, they just opened fire. No reason.
Goldstone retracted that, by the way. You know that? Goldstone retracted his report.
No. He said it may not be accurate, but the three other authors said we stand by. Do you know why he retracted him? Because he was a Zionist Jew, and they look at him like, how could you do this?
So he wrote the report. He wrote the report, then retracted.
With three other people.
It was named after him.
With three other people.
It was named after
three other people. Three authors, and they stood by the results of the reports. So, back to my point. The troops on the ground, they do deliberately target civilians, sometimes for fun. We have footage of people being executed. Well, no. We have of the aftermath of the execution, field executions. We have eyewitness testimonies of them going to a school. This is about the 2015. Going into a school and performing field executions on people. Let me finish. You cannot talk. I know you're burning from this. You cannot talk. Now, when it comes to the airstrikes, Israel does not care about civilian life when it comes to their airstrikes. Meaning, let me explain that. Imagine there is a bomb, there's a map in front of you. This is effectively what Israel would do. Israel would point a finger and say, we will bomb this place. Irrespective of who's there, we will just bomb it. It doesn't matter. The calculation of civilian life is not in there. You talk about proportionality. Civilian life is not a factor to them. There are cases, again, I'll refer you to another report. Operation Protective Edge, a war waged on Gaza's children. They document 36 cases, actually 35. 35 cases in Israel has killed Palestinian children. And a lot of them, they say no military activity was reported in the vicinity. No military activity was reported. They don't care about civilians with their airstrikes. The troops on the ground, they do deliberately target civilians. So that would explain why Israel is bombing so many things and not killing a lot of people. But the moment the military incursion started...
Sorry, I'm not missing. Why they're not killing a lot of people, that's the bit I'm missing.
No, what I'm saying is this explains the disparity between the bombing casualties and the ground invasion. Because people on the ground, as I said, they do target civilians. Airplanes, they don't care. It's not that they do target, they just don't care.
But that's my question. Why are the airplanes not killing people? If Israel's not giving effective warning, why are the people in the buildings that have clearly been damaged? We've all seen the video footage of building after building that's been taken down. Why are the people not in those buildings?
What do you mean by why?
When they're bombed, why are the people not in those buildings?
Yeah, Israel told them to go. Leave.
So they gave an effective warning?
It's a warning, not effective.
Well, it was effective because they left the building.
The question of effectiveness, what happened after they left the building? Did they survive? There are thousands.
Yes, they did survive because the majority of Palestinians
in
Gaza are still alive.
There are thousands of civilians that followed every single thing Israel said, and they still died. They were still bombed. Thousands of civilians.
Which is going to happen, unfortunately, in a war that Hamas initiated.
No. Okay, so you kill civilians. Hamas initiated war, you kill civilians?
No. If you launch... Nick, can you name me any war in the history of wars where civilians haven't died?
Well, see, the thing is, it's not...
Civilians versus the army.
That's another one. But as you said, this war is not comparable to anything else. So let's not compare anything else. Let's look to Gaza.
No, the reason it's not comparable is because Hamas explicitly put civilians between them and the IDF. Hamas's objective is to maximize casualties, be they Israeli or Palestinian. They explicitly say this. If I could get my phone, I'd show you a quote of Hamas leaders continuously saying, we will sacrifice ourselves, we will sacrifice our children, we will sacrifice. The Shahada.
The Shahada,
it's literally part of their mantra. It's part of Hamas's...
No, see, Joseph.
So
okay, you said you're respond because I have something to say about that.
Is that what you want? You don't want the bad answer? You want to keep
You said a lot of things, and I want to respond. You want to respond. I have a question.
So we want to get under indigeneity. So all I would say is...
Yeah. My question about indigeneity is just clarifying. That's it.
Okay, so very, very quickly, I'll give you the closing comment on this bit.
On this section. Then I'll ask you.
So and then we give it... I don't need the closing... I'm giving you the closing comment. All I want to say is... Okay, fine, we'll move on. We've said enough. Indigeneity.
Yeah. So, I've heard you say that Jews are indigenous to Palestine.
Israel.
Yeah,
there's never been a country called Palestine.
The Jews are indigenous to the historic land of Israel.
Yeah, I'll quote only Beit Abd al-Hadi.
Okay. So, define Jew, define indigenous.
So a Jew today is any person that descends ethnically via the matrilineal line from the 12 tribes of Israel.
Okay.
Or they join the people at a later date. So someone who's converted. So in my family we have converts, and without going into too much of my family,
fine,
I have those that go all the way back to Israel, and those that descend from English.
Okay. And what is indigenous? Define indigenous.
So indigenous is where where you are, to use crude, native to a land, to use crude language. So it's where we had our ethnogenesis. It's where we became a nation. It's where we were sovereign for centuries and centuries and centuries. It's where our history began. So indigenous means we are from that place. We didn't exist as a people anywhere.
Okay, so I have a problem with that.
That's fine. You don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, no, it's just one. So, because Jews don't necessarily become indigenous to Israel. Judaism is, not the people.
No, so Judaism's a religion.
Yes,
the Jews are a people.
I know, but you cannot say people.
A religion can't be...
So if I convert to Judaism, do I become indigenous?
No, but you join a people that is indigenous to that.
No, but you said Jews are indigenous.
So hear me out, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So Jews don't evangelize. We've never proselytized our religion. When we look at you as a Muslim, we say Alhamdulillah.
Why Alhamdulillah? Because you're not like us?
No. Because you're leading a righteous life, and you're giving sadaqah to the poor and the widow, and you're worshipping one God. So that's why we say Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
We don't want you in Judaism religiously. We believe both you and I can go to Olam Haba, to Jannah. We have a portion in the world to come. We don't need people. And actually, if you convert
to Judaism, ice cream?
It's the rivers of wine. I'm sorry, I'm going to the Quran. In Judaism, if you actually convert, it's much easier to sin and go to Jahannam than it is.
Okay,
and so in Judaism,
you're using Arabic and English, and I'm like...
Okay, I can use Jahannam. I can use the Hebrew word. In Judaism, we don't encourage conversion, but when someone converts, we're commanded to love them, and we believe the Messiah is going to descend from a woman called Ruth, who was the great-grandmother of King David, and she was a convert to Judaism. So we have converts, we've had them from the very beginning, but we don't encourage it. And what that means is the majority of us are not converts, and the majority of us, because when one or two converts trickle into the community, which they have done over the ages, they're joining a much larger body of people that have always been Jewish.
Okay.
And so almost all Jews trace their ancestry genetically back to Israel.
So this is so not all Jews are indigenous to Israel.
So the Jews as a collective, as a people, are indigenous.
Okay, this is the problem. This is the problem that I have.
In the same way as you would say that English are indigenous to this isle.
But see, this is the problem that I have with you, with this line of reasoning. This is the problem.
Okay, I'll let you tell the problem, then I'll argue against
We'll
it.
see if you let me. So, Mormonism. Who came up with Mormonism?
Joseph Smith.
Where is he from?
Now you're beyond my. I'm not
He's
big
in
on
the U.S. He's in the U.S.
Yeah. He found it in.
Is it accurate to say Mormons are indigenous to the U.S.?
No, because I don't think they've. I don't. So the reason
they define Mormon as someone who adopts Mormonism or is born of a Mormon mother. Is it accurate to say that Mormonism? This is hypothetical definition. I'm not saying that. Is it accurate to say that Mormonism is indigenous to the U.S.?
No, because I think this is why you conflate. Mormonism is a religion.
And
Jews,
Judaism is a religion?
No, we're a people. There's no word in biblical Hebrew for religion. You're putting your Occidental, Western, colonial, imperialist language lexicon.
Judaism, Jews.
We don't have a word for religion.
You just said a Jewish person is someone who
converts. So when you convert to Judaism, it's not the Shahada.
Wait.
It's not I believe in Moses.
You said a Jew. I asked you define a Jew.
So let me explain.
Okay.
The Jews are a people. Because this is where we get confused. So allow me, and then you can tell me I'm wrong about my people.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead, say something. So you're wrong. Okay.
So to become a British citizen, the British people, via the government, have to accept you, naturalize you, give you citizenship. In Judaism, it's the same.
Don't move your head because there's a light behind you. Just block it. Don't move.
Go. There's a halo. So in Judaism, it's the same.
The British have citizens.
So you become a Jewish citizen effectively. It's not you take a declaration of faith. What you do is you go before a panel of judges called a Bet Din, and they say, okay, we believe you sincerely want to join the people and worship the Creator in the way that Jews worship the Creator, and then you are given effectively citizenship to the Jewish people. So all indigenous peoples have ways of usually joining those tribes, whether it's the English, whether it's the indigenous tribes of America, and people can join, and there's mechanisms to join a people.
Joseph, we worked with a very specific definition. The way I said Jews are indigenous to Israel. That's the statement. I said define Jew. You said a Jew is anyone who believes in Judaism.
Okay. Can we do this a different way rather than trying to catch you to the route? Can you give me an example of a people that are indigenous? That would be
Native Americans, for example.
Okay, so explain to me now how Native Americans are different to the Jews in Israel. What's the difference?
Because now we're talking about genetics.
They just died. It's okay. We'll do it for the Dawa and for Banksy for the
The idea of them is based on.
Thank you.
The idea is based on genetics, not belief. Not belief, because the idea of Judaism, being a Jew, is ultimately based on belief.
But the genetics, no one is genetically from somewhere. You collectivize as a people and establish. You have an ethnogenesis, and you join together collectively.
I know. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to say that people who believe this idea are indigenous to this location.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying the Jews genetically
define Jews. That's the thing.
Just descendants from the 12 tribes of Israel.
Or that's it.
Or someone that those tribes have welcomed into their tribe.
Or which means the first definition: anyone who believes in Judaism is a Jew, converts to Judaism.
Habibi, this is disingenuous. Because by this argument, so anyone.
Don't move.
Sorry. Any indigenous people, any indigenous peoples, be it let's say the Nabateans, the Jordanians, not the Hashemites, but the ones that were living in the land before.
I don't know much about them.
Okay, but I'm saying there were Arabs that were living in that land. They collectivized around the Nabatean identity. They established a kingdom there. They had their ethnogenesis. They became a people. They developed a culture, a language, all the trappings of any society, and that's why we call them indigenous. It's not just that they existed on the land, but when we're talking about people, it's they were a people collectively on that land.
Again, what I'm saying is, in that statement, okay, the definition of Jews, as you just said, people who descend from the 12 tribes of Israel. So that's a Jew.
Let me flip it another way. Why is my haplotype a Middle Eastern haplotype? It's I live here. My Jewish ancestors lived in Poland. Yet our ancestry goes back to the Middle East genetically. Why is that? And I'm mixed, mate. But yet my haplotype goes all the way back to.
How is this relevant to?
Because we're talking about where I am from. I am not from Europe.
We're not talking about that.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. When I'm saying Jews are indigenous, we weren't indigenous to Poland. We came to Poland from somewhere.
Okay. So let me explain what I heard from you.
Okay, please.
And see what my problem is, and then maybe maybe I misheard you.
Yeah.
The definition of Jews that we worked with, a Jewish person, is someone who believes.
No. Nothing to do with
belief.
You can be an atheist Jew. No, I'm not explaining myself clearly.
Let me finish.
No, but that's not what I said.
Let me finish.
You can be an atheist Jew.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Is someone who believes in Judaism, or
no, nothing to do with belief.
So you can believe in Judaism but not be a Jew.
So you can believe it. Yes.
So let me finish. So you either believe in Judaism or.
That's not what I'm saying. You can't say I'm saying something that I'm not saying.
He's got the or. It's the or part.
But there is no
say
or.
It again.
That's not what I'm saying.
So it's someone who believes in Judaism, or someone who comes from a Jewish mother.
So no.
So someone who believes in Judaism is not a Jew.
Yes. No. Someone who believes in Judaism is not a Jew.
It's not a Jew.
So you personally can say, I believe in Judaism. I believe in the prophecy of Moses. I say the Shema at morning, at night. I say the Amidah 3 times a day. I keep the laws of Kashrut. And brother, you're still not Jewish, even though you believe exactly what Jews believe.
So being... Okay, this is a little bit paradox. Being a Jew is not a Jew?
You just don't understand how the Jews define themselves. That's what I try to explain, and clearly not very well. So what I try to explain...
define that, please.
Yes. So to be a Jew... To be a Jew is to belong to the people, the Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we define that, so some societies will define themselves, you have to have both parents, you have to be naturalized. But for the Jewish people, how we for thousands of years have defined ourselves as being Jewish is if you have a Jewish mother. So that Jewish mother person can be a Muslim and they're still Jewish. In contrast, you can have a non-Jew who believes exactly what the Jewish people believe, exactly. But because he's not been formally accepted by the Jewish people and converted into the faith, into the people, he is not Jewish. So unlike Islam, which is a declaration of faith, it's the Shahada, you can take the Jewish Shahada, but brother, you're still not Jewish.
So wait. Judaism is more of a council than a religion.
So
when I say council, like a group of people.
So it's a people. And we have a system. So the way to view the Jewish, like our Sharia, our halakha, is this is the national code. This is the national law that the Jewish people follow. There's a rabbinical system that starts with the Supreme Court and goes down to each court in the local cities. And this is how Jews have defined themselves legally for thousands of years. This is how we're set up. And you can't just join the people with a declaration of faith. It's not like the Shahada. It's not like Islam.
But wait. So if I just, as you said, declaration of faith.
Take the Jewish Shahada, you're not Jewish.
You have a Shahada.
So if you convert, you usually have to study for... No, there's no Shahada, but what you need to do, you need to study for, usually it's formally, you study for many years, and once the court is convinced that you sincerely want to join the Jewish people, out of reverence for Hashem and worshipping for the Creator in the way the Jews do, then you can formally be accepted. And maybe you'll say the Shema, and you're immersed in a mikvah, in a Jewish ritual bath, but it's your it's not an agreement between man and God. It's an agreement between man and man. It's the Jewish people that enable you to become Jewish.
It's a tribal system.
It's a tribal system.
If I become Jewish in the sense of converting,
yes, you formally
not
convert.
accepted. You haven't accepted me yet.
Yes.
Am I a Jew in the eye of God?
No, so what I would say is you believe in Judaism, but you're not Jewish in the eye of God and not Jewish in the eye of man. You follow, so there's something called Noachidism. Ben Noach is somebody who believes in Judaism, but Ben Noach means a son of Noah, and it means that you basically believe what the Jews believe, but you, for whatever reasons, either you've decided not to, or you haven't yet, or haven't been accepted, converted formally to Judaism. So you can believe in Judaism, but you're not Jewish.
So, and in order for you to accept me, I have to convert.
You have to be accepted by a rabbinical court, yeah.
And I know, but there's this condition there that I have to believe in what you believe before it can be accepted.
Yeah, you have to learn the laws, you have to live as a Jew for a period of time.
So converting alone is not enough. You have to convert.
No, to convert you have to study the law, you have to have lived as a Jew.
I mean convert in the sense of holding that belief.
Holding that belief isn't enough.
That is not enough. You have to do that plus rabbinical court has to approve of you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that cleared it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was where we were getting hung up. So when I'm talking about the Jews being indigenous, it's we as a people became, and so it's not just it's not like Dave from Darlington can just say, I believe in Judaism, therefore they're Jewish. They're not Jewish. They've got no connection to the tribe. They've never joined the tribe of the Jewish people, and so you can join that tribe, but there's very few people do. Because we don't evangelize, we don't proselytize.
Yeah, but see, even then, the statement Jews are indigenous to Palestine, to Israel, is not entirely true. You need more. You need more specifications. You need to be more specific.
Okay, so I was very, very simply for 1200. The Jews had a kingdom there for basically 1200 years, either where we were completely sovereign or we were a protectorate of a larger empire. But we still had all the institutions, the national institutions like the temple, the court system that I'm talking about. And so our language, our religion, our everything about us goes back to Israel. That's where we really became a people. We became a people at Mount Sinai. We went to the land, we established our kingdom there, and we stayed there for centuries and centuries and centuries. This is what it means to be indigenous. It's where we're from. It's where we had our ethnogenesis. That's what I'm trying to
Okay, fine. But so you cleared
up
the first...
Can I ask you, because I've answered a lot of questions, would you say the Palestinians are indigenous to the land?
Yeah.
And this is where we're in a problem for me. So
yeah,
what makes them,
lots of problems.
What makes them indigenous to the land?
For example, this is he's I forgot his name. I think Liam. He's a historian. He says, historically speaking,
who? What's his name?
Liam. I think I can give you his name later. Liam Omar. He's a historian. He studies the history of ideas.
I've actually never read him, so usually on this I mean, you didn't know I hadn't read him, but I haven't read him.
So, for example, he made a video. He said the question of who was there first is irrelevant. Is meaningless because Jews and modern day Palestinians descend from the same people that were there like a gazillion years ago.
Not all of them, some of them.
Yeah, that's not true.
Well, not in this video, not this.
That's fine. Yeah, there's lots of videos on TikTok.
I can send it.
But I'm saying he's.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter if it's TikTok. He's a historian.
Was it TikTok?
It's a historian.
No, but was it TikTok?
Yeah, the video. Of course, he made the video on TikTok, but he's a historian.
Okay.
Are you saying that he's not a historian because?
No, I don't know. I've never heard of him before, so I'm sure he's a historian.
Yeah, he's also on YouTube. Go ahead, make an objection.
No. I don't get. It's fine.
Yeah, so it's a 10-minute video, and there he explains that, and also the debate that you did with.
Andalusi.
Yes, Andalusi. Yeah, 3 or 4 hours. He also, I think, he gave 5
hours. Unless he cut it down on his channel, it was 5 on mine. I think he posted the whole thing.
Yeah, no. Even then, I think
Abdullah.
Even then, I think he gave you some studies of. I think he mentioned Phoenicians or some people.
So the grave sites that they were studying. Anyway, I'll let you make your argument.
Yeah. So as I said, they are the same Homo sapiens.
In what way?
Genetically speaking.
So genetically, if you look at genetic clusters, usually clusters like Jews, Palestinians, like Saudis.
Oh, wait, what do you mean by?
So like
that's like the tree.
Cluster. No. It's like if you're looking at a cluster diagram.
Don't move.
They're trying to do it for the camera as well. So let's just say that the Jews are in between, let's say Europeans further north up here at the top, Jews here, closer to Palestinians, much closer to Palestinians and Middle Eastern populations than say Europeans. But then when you look at the Middle Eastern populations, you'll have like Iranians over here, Saudis, Yemenis over here, and so the Palestinians and the Israelis are here. But each of these studies, you have to look at which populations are being studied, how many people, what's the sample size, because it's not always so straightforward. What I would say is when it comes to the Palestinians, to say that they're indigenous is a bit of a joke, because the overwhelming majority are relatively recent arrivals. And I can give you very clear evidences from that. In 1882, the Ottomans took the census, there were 270,000 Muslims living in the land, 70,000 Muslims living in that region. And by 1945, when the British took the statistic, the village report, there was 1.26 million, and it ballooned. And if we look at Palestinians' leaders, whether it's Izz ad-Din al-Qassam, whether it's Yasser Arafat, they weren't born in what you would call Palestine, what I would call Israel. They were born at Izzeddin al-Qassam was born in Syria. Yasser Arafat was born in Cairo. If you look at the Palestinians today, the most famous spokespeople they have, like Mohammed al-Kurd. Who guesses as to where al-Kurd comes from? It's not going to be Palestine. We look at the major families, the Nashashibis, the Husseinis, Turkmen, the Husseinis that claim to descend from Muhammad. We know when the major families came over with Umar ibn al-Khattab. We know when other people came later. And so to claim that the Palestinians are indigenous is an insult to their collective memory of who they say they come from. And it's all over the names. Al-Masri is one of the most common surnames. The Egyptian, Al-Maghrebi, Al-Bosnak. Like the names give away where the different families are from. And even the more ancient Palestinian families, most of them came over from the point where Umar ibn al-Khattab came. That's not to say there aren't some families that converted from Christianity to Islam.
But you're using the same argument as those who say, for example, that Netanyahu is Polish. So what if they have the name al-Masri, al-Kurdi?
Okay, so let's follow that. So the reason they say that Netanyahu, how are we going to? Let's say Netanyahu, and you say he's an Ashkenazi Jew, and before his grandparents came to Israel, they lived in Poland. The ones that live in Poland originally came from Israel, whereas the ones that came over with Umar ibn al-Khattab, they came from Arabia.
Follow that same reasoning with al-Masri and al-Kurdi. Where did they come from?
Al-Masri and al-Kurd.
And then follow it backwards because.
But they didn't go from.
Because with the Netanyahu, he said he's from Poland, but go back. He was then if you go trace.
So is your argument that the Arabs that came over with Umar ibn al-Khattab, or the Arabs that came over that the Ottomans put them in, they were originally Palestinian?
I don't know. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you're not being consistent. That's my point.
How am I not being consistent?
Because when I talked about Netanyahu being Polish, he said go back further in time. But yet you're presenting the argument that this person is called al-Masri, and that's it. That's enough to refute that he's not.
No. What I'm saying is, there's a.
My point is you have to continue to go back in time to show that this al-Masri is not in any way indigenous to Palestine. That's my point.
So what I would say is there are undoubtedly Palestinians, Arabs, that have lived in the land before Umar ibn al-Khattab came and conquered it. Well, 100%. But I'm saying those lines are a minority. And the majority of Arabs in the land today descend from more recent arrivals, which is why Ahmed al-Tamimi and all of these people.
I think we're gonna go now.
Yeah, we're wrapping up now. It's getting.
We were not.
Ahmed al-Tamimi.
Last point.
Last point. Everyone's going home. Okay.
1 hour 36.
That's fine. Like, subscribe, and follow the Israel advocacy movement.
HAFEZ reflects.
Guys, sorry to talk. Are you saying the Polish Jews are the original Jews, or is it the people?
No, I'm saying there are many original Jews. But maybe we're going home. We're doing closing thoughts. But all I say is there are Arabs that descend from ancient. I mean, some of the Arab communities are even descend from Jews. So, like, you have the Abu Lafia bakery in Jaffa. Abu Lafia is a Jewish name. Underneath Nabi Samuel, how do you say Shmuel in Arabic?
Ismail?
No, not Ismail. Shmuel, Samuel. Samuel. Under Nabi Samuel, Shmuel in Hebrew. So the grave, the alleged supposed grave of Shmuel, I'm saying supposed because I don't know if it is or it isn't. There is the ruins of a Palestinian village. And above each of the doors is engraved a Star of David, because that village
they
were
light
originally
candles. I think you said they light candles on a Friday night.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but they were Jews that came over from the Inquisition into the Ottoman territory, and then they converted to Islam at some point. So they remember their Jewish ancestry, but they became Muslim. And so there are definitely Muslim Palestinians today. I think even Deir Yassin had Star Davids over the doors. There were Jewish.
You mean the massacre? Deir Yassin?
I mean,
1948 massacre?
I wouldn't call it. I think it was a battle between
it was
two
a terror
communities.
attack.
So Deir Yassin was firing on the Jewish community.
I'll send you a document.
So I'll send you a book. I've got an entire book on this.
I'll send you a CIA document.
Yeah, I'll send you a book which is more reliable than a CIA document.
A book is more reliable than a
document,
declassified document from the most powerful intelligence agency on Earth.
We'll see. We'll see what it says. But
I'll send it to you.
Quite extensive scholarship in this book.
Yeah, and they also say they call them terrorists. throwing dynamite into houses and everyone got out.
So the Haganah was saying the same. So there were Israelis that were saying the same. So yeah, Lehi and Irgun. The Irgun and Lehi.
Yeah, Irgun and Stern. I don't know about the. I know Haganah, Stern.
Lehi and Stern they're the same group. It's just the Hebrew word. Lehi is the Hebrew word
for
Stern.
Stick to English.
Yeah, but I'm Jewish, so I'll stick to my own language, Habibi.
Yeah, don't say Habibi.
Why not? That's also my language.
No, it's not in your language.
Yes, it is. You took it
Habibi.
from us. Yes.
Can you say ha?
Yes, of course we can say ha.
No.
Sameach.
No, not ha. Ha. No, it's not ha. You can't.
So, what do you mean? Okay, have you ever met any Jews from the Middle East?
No.
Clearly, it's self-evident.
Yeah, because I don't go around looking for Jews
so
from the Middle East.
There's a hat like you're blowing on glasses, and there's two different sounds.
I know. There's ha and ha, and you cannot say ha. That's my point. Continue. You said you were going to stick to Hebrew.
I just did.
And you said Habibi.
Yeah.
Habibi in Hebrew.
But I thought I couldn't say it. I thought I couldn't pronounce it, but then I said Habibi.
Yeah, Habibi, not Habibi. The word is Habibi. Continue. So, Lachna...
I'm moving on. Like, instead of trying to police what I can and can't say, let's say with the argument.
No. I did not mean it that way. It was a joke. Because you said, I'll stick to my language, so I said, don't say Habibi. That's my point. I'm not saying don't speak Arabic. I'm not saying that.
Guys, do you pray for peace in the Middle East?
Yes, we both pray for peace in the Middle East.
Yeah, but the definition of peace is warped. It's different. The definition of peace. Because for Israelis, peace means Palestinians are getting settler attacks in the West Bank, and that's fine. As long as they can sleep at night, that's fine.
And for Palestinians, peace means from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Yeah, Jews. Equality and
equality.
Rights.
Because there's so much equality for Jews.
Not genocide.
I would just say, the sooner people realise God does not have favourites when it comes to humanity. Yeah, God loves everybody equally. Yeah, and there's no chosen people. There's no one people as favourites, and there's no these people are favourites. God loves everybody as a child of God. Once we all realise that, then we can all live in harmony.
Okay.
So I didn't mean don't speak. That's not my point. I apologize if I
it's fine. That's good. I don't know where we're going with it. My point is, I'll just close up my point so we can go home.
Final word.
Yeah, final words. Palestinians are not. The majority of Palestinians are not indigenous to the land. However, having lived there for 1,400 years, they have as much of it for many of them. And certainly it being a Muslim country for basically 1,400 years with a little break for the Crusaders, they have every right to remain in the land. The point of who is indigenous and who isn't indigenous becomes purely academic, because the outcome should be the same. There's enough space for both people to coexist, and inshallah we will have peace. Inshallah, be'ezrat Hashem. With help from God. With help from God, every single hostage will be released, and Hamas will unconditionally surrender before any more people tragically are killed in the conflict.
My statement?
Yeah, you've got closing words.
Yeah, okay, so the Israeli government has made it extremely clear they don't want a two-state solution. They don't want a Palestinian state, period. Even if we didn't get to talk about the peace talks. And yes, I want every single hostage to return home. That's what I want. I want the how many
136.
And the thousands of Palestinian hostages in Israeli prisons, they also have to return home. All the children.
Even the ones that were convicted for terrorism and murder?
By whom? Convicted by
Israel.
It's a closing statement. I'll give you a document about Israel, okay?
Final thoughts.
Yeah, so everyone has to return. That's what I want. And the only way forward is a one-state solution where Netanyahu doesn't exist. And fine, if you don't want Hamas, fine, burn them. Don't care about Israel does not want a two-state solution. Never wanted a two-state solution. They just want a one-state solution. So
what I will do is, inshallah, people know peace.
Thank you, guys.
I appreciate the respectful talk. Most of the times I just get mobbed here.
Next time it's going to get worse.
That's right, you're going to mob me next time. Okay.
This was awesome, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No, it's actually good to speak.
Okay, guys, we are. I'm gonna do a little quick walk around, but generally I'm pretty much gonna end it now. It's getting dark. Usually it's not a good idea to be out here in the dark. But I'm just gonna do a little quick walk around and then probably end it in a minute or two. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Okay.
It's the only way. Once the exclusion is the only way. 2 states is there, it's not going to happen. I say Israel wouldn't allow it. One state is the only way.
And I actually
I know, that's the way to get
Say whatever, it's up to him, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, anybody, leave it on.
Like what you said, that's how he sees it. That's how he sees
ثبته بس كفايه ثبته ثبت عار امه
Excuse me, brother. Excuse me, brother. I am talking to you seriously. This place is not your fucking mosque. This place is not your fucking mosque. This place is a speaker's corner.
You know don't swear. Naughty Christian.
Get that in your head.
Naughty Christian, you swear.
In the Bible, the woman needs to shut up. And the Bible says that.
Naughty.
The Bible said that.
Have you got visa?
Shut up.
Have you got visa?
Shut up.
Have you got visa?
The Bible said the woman
case.
needs to shut up. The Bible said that.
What are you taking? Why are you taking my phone? Why are you taking my phone? Why are you taking my phone? If it's a free seat corner, that's respected. It's not your bloody mouth.
The Son of Man will come and judge
This is a free speech corner. Get that in your head. Go and do it in your mosque. Not here. Go and do it in your mosque. Not here. You think you can rule every country?
Yes, we're going to take over this country.
I'm not joking. They saw one like the South man. You know what the Son of Man means?
Take a final shot of the Iranian Persian flag. This is the original flag of. Let me give you a bit of commentating. This is supposedly as far as what I understand, the original Persian flag of Cyrus and Darius and all that jazz. I never known that this was. Let me see if I can it's hard to see. I can't really see it. We need wind. We need wind, people. Anyway, we're walking around. See what's going on. I don't see Cyrus. Where is Mr. Cyrus? Sorry. Okay. Woo! Look at that. Roller skates with flashing lights. Okay, guys, it's getting dark. It's dodgy. I think it's time to get the flock out of here. Ah, Steve, you're still here. How are you, my good sir? Ah, you're still hanging out with us. I have a better mic and battery now. Can I interview you?
What were we talking about before?
The Rochdale and elections. Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are here.
So you're okay with that alive?
But I'm probably gonna blind you. Oh, come on! This is a 25%.
That's a thing, man.
Okay, hold on.
Get lost. This is not your house. This is not your bloody mosque. Get lost. Get lost and do it in your mosque. Don't make it in your mosque. No, not here. This is England. This is not a Saudi. Stupid country. This is England. This is not a stupid country. You're Muslim country. This is not a Muslim country. Don't make it like a Muslim country. We don't want your Muslim business here.
Hello,
we don't
Michelle.
want your Muslim shit business here.
Okay.
This is a free speech country.
Okay. Do you want me to hold that, or are you going to hold it?
Well, because I'm going to have to pass it back and forth, so let's just do it this way. Let's do it. So, Mr. Steve Chilcott.
Mr. Steve.
Steve Chilcott of Atheist Steve, formerly of Southall. which one are you? Is your YouTube channel Steve of Southall now?
I think that's what it's currently.
You haven't changed it to Chilcott?
No.
No. Okay, so Steve, you're standing for election for the Reform Party for the general election
and the GLA election.
GLA, what is that?
The Greater London Assembly. So they're like the mini parliament or the mini committee that are supposed to hold the London Mayor to account.
Yeah, just like David Curtin?
Yes, no, exactly. So David Curtin, Peter Whittle were UKIP members of the GLA back a few years ago.
I see. So what are your, given the Rochdale and recent elections and the results, what are your outlook or your chances for the future? Hello, for your future chances. The chances. How do you see your chances?
Well, so for the GLA, it's a complicated way it's calculated, but there's two separate groups of GLA members. One are constituency based, so I'm the Southwest constituency, which is Hounslow, Kingston and Richmond, and then the other group are based on the overall percentage vote that each party gets. So, for example, if a party gets 20% of the votes, so when we go into the polling booth on May the 2nd, you have 3 votes, one for the mayor, one for the constituency GLA members, and then one for the party list of GLA members. And I forget the precise percentages, but I think Reform are very hopeful that we will get people onto the GLA. Now, whether it's 1 seat, 2 seats or 3 seats, obviously that will depend on how many people vote for us as a party in London. And I think the last London-based poll, we were on something like 10%. So if we get that, if that comes through in terms of actual votes, we will get at least 1, if not 2.
Yes, please.
He's adjusting his attire here. If we get that 10% as in the current poll, we will get 1, if not 2 members on the GLA, which will be great, because even if Sadiq Khan wins the mayoral elections, he needs some sound GLA members that actually hold him to account and actually challenge him. Well, don't we all? Have you ever met a person that likes Sadiq Khan?
No one.
I haven't.
Ever.
I haven't.
Ever. Anyone who owns a car despises.
Wow. Yes. And certainly, if you own a car, Howard Cox is your candidate for London Mayor.
So yes, exactly. Who is the candidate for Reform?
So Reform's candidate for London Mayor is a guy called Howard Cox. He has been one of the country's most successful campaigners. So he's led an organisation called Fair Fuel UK, who've campaigned for lower fuel taxes, basically. and he has achieved a lot of success on that. So we are all, but those of us that are paying for fuel, paying for car fuel or vehicle fuel, are currently paying a lot less money thanks to this man Howard Cox. And he's been campaigning with the government recently, and hopefully in this week's budget, which is on Wednesday of this coming week, that fuel taxation will be frozen if not dropped, and again that will be down to Howard Cox. So he's had much more success nationally, certainly more than any of the other candidates. He's had senior positions in business. He's a great man. He's very friendly. He's very down to earth. He's very amiable, and he's had some real great success in the campaigning work that he's done. So he will make a much better mayor than Sadiq Khan, I can assure you. And of course he's completely against ULEZ. Will scrap all of ULEZ, including the central ULEZ. Completely against LTNs, all of this nonsense that councils are starting to bring in various locations.
How would someone who wants to actually look into Howard Cox more, where would they find him?
So he is on Twitter. I think his Twitter handle from memory is Cox for London. And
London,
exactly. What more? Exactly.
I would say whole of Soho would be voting for that one.
I can't wait for the campaign of once he's won the London mayoral election, and then the opposition will be coming out saying, what do we want? Cox out. When do we want it? Now. So that would be a side benefit of him winning.
Get the Cox in.
Exactly. I'm sure he's heard it all before. And also go to the Reform UK party website, and there is information on there. Or just put it into YouTube. So Howard currently is going around all of London, visiting boroughs, going to meetings, going to street stalls, etc. And I honestly believe as many people that can meet, see, and hear him and hear what he's got to say, they will be convinced.
Can we get any kind of, is there a place where we can get a list of possibly the kind of events he's going to attend, so that maybe I can go and cover it, or others can go and cover it?
So actually he came to an event in Southall last week, which I should have told you about, but Street Mike came along to it. I can let you know.
Yeah, for me, for sure, but any other audience or any people?
Well, I mean, follow him on Twitter, so follow Cox for London, and it's all posted on Twitter, and on other channels.
Cox for London.
Absolutely. So that's the GLA and mayoral elections on May the 2nd, and we're obviously still waiting to hear when the general election is called. It's expected to be in October. I think the very latest it has to be is by the end or very late January, but you'd think they're unlikely to call it in the middle of winter, so I think the money is on an October election.
Yeah, because I mean they did call the Brexit one like it was.
That was a winter one, wasn't it? And it just makes canvassing and campaigning very difficult because you're out in the dark and on the cold evenings. So
what is Reform doing to make sure that they've got the best chance of either being elected or at least getting to the House of Parliament?
So we've promised to stand candidates in every single constituency across England, Scotland and Wales, and also given a promise that we will not pull back candidates. So if you remember the last general election, we stood down candidates in all constituencies that had a sitting Conservative MP, which clearly helped Boris get the massive 80-seat majority, which he then screwed up and squandered for Brexit.
Sunak and actually the other lady as well, which I forgot her name.
Yeah, so we are not May, Theresa